Oh. Oh my god. Okay. Somebody, Scott FS, has just notified me that there is no sound in my live stream. I just realised that my mic was muted. So everything that I've said in like the last few minutes has just kind of gone to waste. So I guess I'll just repeat it, which I don't necessarily mind. Yeah, this is my 1000 Q&A live stream. But always, got loads of tweets and stuff coming through right now. Yeah, okay, I hope you can hear me now. I've unmuted my microphone. Like I said, this is kind of like the first time I'm doing a live stream, so yeah, like I said, the 1000 Q&A special. I'm going to be reading off questions that people asked me in my Q&A announcement video. So yeah, I was just basically saying that like there was 41 comments on that video all in all, so this video is probably going to be a little bit long. So the reason why I'm basically making this a live stream is for the fact that you know, I think if people want to like ask me any more questions, you know, you can kind of ask me live and direct rather than, you know, missing out on the opportunity to ask me things. So yeah, there's kind of a lot of questions I need to get through. So yeah, who was the first one? Let's see. I'm kind of getting a few notifications here, so let's kind of check where I'm at. Yeah, NZ Anime, Manga, Scott. A few people are sharing. NZ Anime, Manga. The hype is real. That's right, my friend. I was also saying, like, when my microphone was muted as well, depending on how fast I get through the questions, I'll probably end up starting to like invite people to the live stream as well, because I want to kind of focus on answering the questions rather than it being like a, I don't know, you know, it can be a group chat, but you know, I assumed like everybody was going to be kind of busy, you know, kind of for the fact that this is kind of an impromptu video, you know, on a Monday afternoon. I have a day off work, so I thought, you know, I'm an opportunistic guy, and I don't know. I just wanted to do a live stream, you know, I had the urge. Okay, Scott FS, LOL, yeah, thank you, mate. I probably would have gotten an hour into this live stream and probably realised by myself that nobody can hear me, so thank you so much for notifying me, you know, from that embarrassing mistake. Yeah, I can see the audio bar on the bottom now. Okay, right, questions. First person to ask me a question was, hey, I'm Blue. Congrats on 1,000 subs, thank you. What is the first anime manga you ever bought? Alright, manga. Technically, the first manga I ever received was a gift when I was like 14, and that was Dragon Ball Z. I think you can see like my Dragon Ball Z volumes in the back there. But I got volume 8, 10, and 11 for Christmas. Volume 8 was like the end of the sort of Ginyu saga, like the fight with Captain Ginyu, and then 10 and 11 was like wrapping up the fight with Goku and Frieza. Around that time, I was like a massive Dragon Ball Z fan. And I got them volumes like around the time that it was still airing on Toonami. So the manga that I'd gotten were essentially like parts in Dragon Ball Z that I hadn't experienced like in the anime. So it was all kind of fresh and new to me. Like I was really highly anticipating the Frieza fight, because what was airing on Toonami at the time was like the early Namek saga, where I think it was around the time where Gohan, Krillin, and Bulma only just get to Namek. And it's like, I think the episode that I'd seen around that time was the introduction of Frieza when he's at that village with Dodoria and Zarbon, and he's trying to get the Dragon Balls from that, you know, that elder Namekian, and he kills Dende's like brother and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, to read them volumes was like really, really, really epic, and because at the time as well, I loved drawing Dragon Ball Z characters. You know, it was really good reference material to like help develop my like artistic skills and that at the time. But in terms of first manga I actually bought, probably more Dragon Ball Z volumes, because obviously I got volume 8, 10, and 11, so obviously I had like all of the start of Dragon Ball Z to like start. So I started with volume 1. Probably volume 1 of Dragon Ball Z was the first ever volume of manga that I bought. In terms of anime, I bought the three Broly movies in like a box set. Where I live, there used to be a comic book shop called Cyber City Anime, and it was the only shop in like the north of England that I knew of that actually sold anime, or like imported anime, because the box set that I got was a region-free American import. So it was a shop where you could like import American anime, and you know, it's like it was like an import specialist, and it was a really awesome shop. You know, I wish it was still there, but it isn't. So yeah, Broly, the second, Broly the legendary Super Saiyan, Broly the second coming, and Bio Broly were the first you know, animes I ever actually bought in one box set. I still have them. I lost the actual box itself. I think I threw it away for some stupid reason when I was a lot younger, but I still have DVDs. As well, at the time, I was like really interested in Broly as a character, and I was actually drawing my own sort of doujinshi, like Broly Saga manga. And because I hadn't seen the Broly movies, I didn't really know what Broly looked like, so I needed some sort of reference material, so that's why I ended up buying the DVDs. But I thought the films, excluding the first one, the second and especially the third one, this sucked. It was so bad. But yeah, first animes ever bought, the Broly movies. Okay, next question comes from oh god, I don't know how I'm going to read this username. Double X Strat Double X. He asks me, or she asks me, how many manga anime do you own? Do you currently own? Sorry. In terms of manga, the last time I did a count, I just reached over 700 volumes. But since my last Sustain the Industry video, like literally just like what, a few days ago, I haven't made a count yet. So I'm guessing maybe, I don't know, maybe coming up to 750 volumes, you know, as a rough estimate. Yeah, I think I'm coming maybe up to 750 volumes. In terms of anime, all the anime that you can see back there, all here, that's all of what I own. I haven't actually counted it yet, but if I have to give like a guesstimation, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 individual series. Yeah, I think that's about right. Let's see. I'm just checking my notifications again. So bear with me, guys. I've got a few Twitter notifications, and my dog is bugging my arm. Oh, I've got a few followers. Nice. Okay, yeah. Zach has retweeted me and stuff like that. Thank you, Zach, for supporting me. It's good to see that you're on Twitter now. You know, I'm glad you got your ass over here, because obviously I don't have Facebook anymore, so I can't really keep up to date with, people that I follow or I'm subscribed to on Facebook. I kind of get all their news, from YouTube directly. So I'm glad. I'm also on Twitter myself. Keep up to date with stuff. Seeing. Ooh, cool! I've got 6 people watching me now. Hey, hello, 6 people. 7 recent posts. Naomi Nichols. Hi, Naomi Nichols. I'm going to be out for lunch soon. No problem, Renzi. Thanks for retweeting me, and thanks for sharing it to my Facebook page too. Also, if you're also still there, Zach, I'm probably going to be filling out an application to the Anime Galaxy today, because I was watching the Anime Galaxy live stream the other day, and like when I asked the question, like everyone was like, "Oh, hey, it's Archangel," and then you were like, "Oh, you really want me to join the Galaxy?" So yeah, I'm going to fill out an application. I think the guy who runs the Anime Galaxy is called Russ, right? So I'm sure he'll see it and like give me like an interview or something like that, and see if I'm up to the challenge of becoming a Galaxy member. So yeah, that's recent Archangel manga news. Archangel is going to be trying to join a collab group. So yeah, look forward to that if I end up joining. Okay, back to the questions. Kind of running off on a tangent. Let's see. Next questions come from BDC87 or Ben. Good to see you. Thanks for asking these questions 1 week ago. Congratulations, keep doing what you're doing. Here are a few questions. Worst manga anime in your collection? Worst manga? It's kind of difficult because like I tend to do blind buys, but the blind buys on things that I feel particularly confident with. Like for example, like I'll blind buy like a vertical release, or like a sort of out there, drawn on quarterly Gekiga manga or something like that. A lot of my Gekiga manga are just blind buys because I simply know that the Gekiga. But I don't think I've ever really bought a manga that I've like flat out like really disliked. There's only two manga that I've ever dropped, and that is Drifters by the same creator of Helsing. I read the first volume of that and I really just didn't like it. The artwork was really good, but the story didn't really grip me. It was basically about this random samurai guy from like the Edo period of Japan, like basically falling into another dimension where like all sort of famous people from the annals of history have to like fight a war. So you've got like famous people like Tokugawa, what's his name? That samurai guy, Joan of Arc, Anastasia, loads of other like random historical figures. And it was an interesting concept, but I think the execution was just a little bit done poorly. So yeah, I ended up dropping that. I also ended up dropping Batum. I loaned the first volume of that from my local library, and yeah, it's just another thing. It didn't really grip me. The whole battle royale sort of thing, I feel, is kind of oversaturated in the sort of anime and manga market. Kind of since battle royale. I didn't really like the usage of being restricted to using bombs. So yeah, I read the first volume of that, and it just didn't really capture me. So I ended up dropping that. But in terms of anything else that I actually own, it's really difficult to say. Obviously, I have like a massive backlog of things to read, so now I'll probably end up stumbling across something I already own that I just would say it's my worst. But so far, I wouldn't say that I own anything that is necessarily my worst sort of purchase, because I don't really regret any of my purchases. So yeah, that's a really difficult question. In terms of anime, I really, really didn't like Elfen Lied. I had such high expectations for that because I'd seen like clips of like reviews saying, "Oh, it's like one of the goriest anime you'll ever see. Oh, it's so awesome." But yeah, when I watched it, it was just all gore, no substance, and there was like a really weird incest sort of relationship developing between two of the main characters, which is kind of like ew. I'm not really into that sort of stuff. So yeah, Elfen Lied, I'd probably say is like maybe my worst. Maybe that or Samurai Deep Kyo. Like watched the first episode of that, but because I've only seen the first episode of that, like I can't really judge the entire series and really flat out say it's the worst anime that I've seen. But for a first impression, that's probably the worst first impression I've got from an anime, Samurai Deep Kyo. But I will end up marathoning through that at some point. So yeah, probably either Elfen Lied or Bio Broly. That was a freaking awful film. I don't ever recommend anybody to watch Bio Broly. I think it's been years since I've seen it, but I think the person in like the character who does the decisive finishing blow to Broly is Krillin, like a Kamehameha or Krillin Goten or something like that. At the end of Bio Broly, so that kind of seeing such a the legendary Super Saiyan himself being reduced to getting killed off by Krillin. That kind of like makes waves for how terrible the film is. So yeah, okay, that was BDT87's first question. His second question: best manga anime recommendations to newcomers and non-newcomers. Manga, probably go say something that most people would say is like go with something that's already popular. In terms of big three, I'd highly recommend the first part of Naruto, as that's probably like the best part of it. I'd like to recommend One Piece, and I probably would recommend One Piece, but I know that a lot of people are intimidated by its length. Obviously, it's like 71 volumes that have been released in English so far, so a lot of people are kind of stand off from the fact that it's so long. But if you kind of take into account that the other two members of the big three are not really that far behind it. Like Naruto is like what 66 volumes out now that I've released in English, and Bleach. I don't keep up to date with Bleach, so this is kind of like a stab in the dark. But I think Bleach is over 60 volumes now. I think that's safe to say. But in terms of like maybe, I'd probably say that the best way to get into manga is like to read singular volumes. Depending on what your tastes are. If you want to read something that's like a comedy, maybe like I'd recommend maybe Azumanga Daioh. That's one thing I just recently read. That comes in like a 4-in-1 omnibus. I don't know if you can see it down there. No, you can't. But yeah, probably singular volumes. And it also kind of depends on like how old you are as well. Like if you're getting into manga when you're kind of young, then I obviously recommend something that's to your age demographic, whether like a shoujo or a shonen. You know, if you're like a young girl or a young boy, then obviously things like Dragon Ball or Doctor Slump, things like that will probably appeal to you. In terms of like a seinen manga, I would highly recommend something by Naoki Urasawa. Whether 20th Century Boys, which is like my favorite of his that I've read so far, or like Monster, which has just recently got a reprint. Yeah, I'll probably say that like they're sort of like definitive way to experience seinen manga. In terms of anime, I think it's like cliche to say that you should probably watch Cowboy Bebop. I've only just recently watched that, so it's all kind of new and fresh in my memory. But for like a non-newcomer, if you haven't seen Cowboy Bebop, then I think that's like an essential part of your own viewing experience. Yeah, like you just have to experience Cowboy Bebop at least once in your life. One thing that kind of like puts people off Cowboy Bebop as well from not watching it is also for the fact that it's like heavily rated, rated highly. I don't want to say overrated, but probably some people do overrate it, and some people regard it as overrated. But I would still highly recommend watching it. Also, I'll check out Outlaw Star or anything by Sunrise, the big powerhouse that's Sunrise, that done all like the Gundam franchise and everything like that. But I don't know. You should probably watch like Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z. Start out with some Studio Ghibli films as well. Like Ghibli films are an absolute essential must-watch. Even if you're not into like anime, like my family, like my mother and things like that. She won't go out of her way to like watch anime with me. But if I'm going to be watching a Ghibli film, she'll make a point to watch it with me because she really loves Ghibli films. She even watches Ghibli films like like without me. Like I remember one time she told me she watched Grave of the Fireflies, and I was like, what? When did you see that? You saw it before I did. I haven't seen that film yet. Even though at the time I hadn't seen it, but I've seen it now. But yeah, she watched Grave of the Fireflies once and said it was like one of the like most depressing films she's ever seen. So yeah, Ghibli, Studio Ghibli films are probably something anybody who isn't an anime watcher or experienced with watching anime, that's definitely something you should watch. Also Satoshi Kon films, Paprika, Tokyo Godfathers. What else has he done? I'm sure I've got another Satoshi Kon film in there somewhere. What else has he done? Tokyo Godfathers, Paprika, Perfect Blue. He's an absolute genius director. God rest his soul. R.I.P. to Satoshi Kon. Yeah, definitely check out some Satoshi Kon films. But yeah, thanks, BDC. You've got one more question I can see. What do you want more or less in your collection? What do you want more or less in your collection you have grown? What do you want more or less in your collection that you have grown? I'm going to assume that what you mean by that is there anything in my collection that I don't currently own but want? Gurren Lagann is getting a release from all the Anime Limited soon, I believe. I think maybe in like the next few months. I'm definitely going to be picking that up. I've always wanted to check out Gurren Lagann. I've had like loads of people recommend it to me, like in the past year. And it's been vastly out of print for like a number of years. I used to really want Mushishi, but obviously I just recently picked that up. I'm going to recently watch him do that. In terms of manga, if, something that I really want, I really want a reprint of Battle Royale. I don't know if you can see back there, I've got the Ultimate Editions from Tokyo Pop, and I'm missing the 5th one. And I'd really like, licensors to really pick up the series. I kind of miss reading Battle Royale. I need to reread through it. Okay, I've got a comment come up in my questions tab here. Yo. Yo. Let's kind of go back to the page. Checking some more notifications, guys. More people sharing it. Let's kind of refresh this. Wow, 10 people watching. Oh, sweet. Cheers, guys. Let's see. Got some more comments on the page. One more comment from NC. I'm around. Awesome. I'll be here for 20-30 minutes, probs. Definitely get in the Anime Galaxy. I'd vouch for you 100%, 110%. Nice. Tank Giant. if you've seen it, what's your opinion on Ghost in the Shell standalone complex? Got the whole series on DVD today. Could you tell me about it? Is there a movie before or after it, or a time skip and other part to it? Please explain. I've only seen a couple of episodes of Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, but I'm aware of like the timeline and the kind of chronology which you should probably experienced Ghost in the Shell. There is a film that comes after, I believe, the second series called Solid State Society. I don't know how I don't know how it ties in exactly with the series itself, but the first series, I believe, deals with the Laughing Man like sort of thing, and the second series deals with like the individual 11. The kind of two separate stories. Obviously, I'm going to be marathoning through them. Probably next once I finish my One Piece box set. The only sort of Ghost in the Shell thing I've experienced from the actual franchise is the movies. Unfortunately, I've seen obviously the first one, second one. I'm wanting to watch the Arise OVA that comes out, I believe, pretty soon. But as for standalone complex, I haven't seen the entire series, so I can't really give a thorough opinion on it until I've actually obviously seen the entire thing. So that'll probably be my next anime review once I've marathon through it. So thanks for your question. Also, I'll link you to I'll copy and paste a comment that I received on one of my Sustain the Industry videos, where I basically detail how to experience Ghost in the Shell like in chronological order, from the movies, from the series, from the manga, and all sort of different sort of tie-ins and things like that. So once I've done this live stream, I'll get on doing that. Copy and paste for you, so you kind of know if you don't already. BDC87, hello, congrats on 1,000 subs. Thank you, mate. I've got 11 people watching now. I didn't think I thought I'd go through all of this entire live stream with like nobody watching me. That's pretty cool. Somebody Mason Anime chats. What is the thickest manga you own? What is the thinnest? Thickest manga I own is my Dororo Omnibus by Osamu Tezuka. You can't actually see it on the top shelf right now, but I believe that's over 800 pages long. Previously to that, my thickest volume was Azumanga Daioh, but I recently just bought Dororo, and that is amazingly thick. It's going to take me probably about a week to get through that, maybe even longer, depending on how much of the how much I enjoy the story. Because the less I enjoy a story, the longer it takes me to read it. Because I kind of slack on it. But the thinnest volume of manga, I'm not actually too sure. I remember when I bought Bakuman Volume 19, like I was kind of surprised at how thin this was, but yeah, I think this is maybe about 180 pages long. But I'm trying to think, the thinnest volume of manga I own, probably my small trim size vertical releases, or probably this Baron the Cat Returns. This is a really thin volume, pushed out by Viz. Maybe it's just, in fact, no, this is actually a standard length. It's just really thin pages. It comes across actually really thin. So in terms of actual paper quality, this is probably my thinnest volume. But in terms of page length, ooh, that's kind of difficult. I've got a lot of manga to get through. Yeah, probably. In fact, I've got a free sample of Vampire Knight, which is probably about 30 pages long. So yeah, that's probably my thinnest volume of manga. Kind of my dog here, so she's kind of budging my hand while I'm trying to control the mouse. Okay, have we got any more notifications yet? Got one more notification. I'm just kind of refresh the page, see what's going down. Last Kenshin Viz week was massive. It's a foreign one. Yeah, I've seen it on the shelf, man. It's freaking huge. The Viz Bigs in general are massive as well. And I heard the last Dragon Ball Viz Big is also a foreign one, and I've heard that's pretty big as well. So yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna grab a sip of water. Tank Giant asked me another question. Favorite arc? Probably my favorite shonen arc is the Water 7 arc from One Piece. Nico Robin is my favorite Straw Hat. So to see her finally, you know, her development come to like a conclusion in terms of her being able to bond with the rest of the crew, that had a massive emotional impact on me. And that moment where she's stood on at the top of the Tower of Justice, and like Luffy's telling her, you know, tell me you want to live. I want to hear you say it. And like she starts like, you know, tearing up, and like she finally says, I want to live. Take me to the sea with you. Oh man, the feels I got from that were just so freaking epic, and just generally like the Water 7 arc for me was like my favorite arc in One Piece. Like the you know, the crew dynamics, you know, Usopp and Luffy, you know, having a fight and Usopp leaving the crew, you know, oh man, such an epic arc. I wish I could basically wipe that from my memory and then read all the way through so I could experience them feels again. But I will be watching it in the anime because I collect the anime box sets. But yeah, that's probably my favorite shonen arc. Favorite seinen arc. Ooh, I don't want to say the Golden Age arc from Berserk because that's still kind of fresh in my memory, but that was an absolutely fantastic arc. That was really, really good arc. Like the first, I think it's 13 volumes where it goes all the way up to the Eclipse. But just absolutely phenomenal. One of the best arcs I've ever read in a seinen manga. I really like the Frieza saga, the Namek Frieza saga from Dragon Ball Z. I think of anything else because there are some really cool, you know, like stories and stuff like in seinen manga. But like, you know, mangas like Akira aren't really split up into arcs, so you know, I can't really say like Akira. Probably the Sasaki Kojiro backstory arc in Vagabond. That was another amazing arc, focusing solely on Sasaki Kojiro, where he becomes the main character for like, you know, like 5 volumes or something longer even. That was an amazing arc. One of the best developed, you know, sort of like side characters or like, you know, core main characters in any manga I've ever read. Yeah, I've got a few more Twitter notifications. BDC87 watching Archangel Manga live stream. Cheers, man. Yeah, thanks, Tank, for your question. Wait, I think we got character and anime opening in the big 3. Favorite arc, character, and anime opening in the big 3. Favorite character? Oh God. That's a very difficult question. I don't even know. So many great characters and getting more notifications. Favorite anime opening? I really like the opening to Eden of the East. That's a really great opening. Also, I really like the opening to, or just the soundtrack in general, to FLCL or Fudikuli. What else? You know what I find really catchy? The opening to the Hunter x Hunter 2011 anime. That, seriously, every time I listen to that, I get goosebumps, especially during the Chimera Anta, because that, oh man, that was the perfect song for it. Okay, I'm going to answer a few more questions from my announcement video, so I will get back to some questions that, you know, you're answering on my live stream, so don't think I'm avoiding you. But obviously I don't want to neglect the people who answered to ask me questions like 1 week ago on this this video. Next, in fact, this isn't even a question, it's just a comment from Buswanker12. What a username, Buswanker. I can't imagine what you get up to. Okay, I have a manga for you to read on manhwa. It's called The Breaker, and it's a sequel to The Breaker New Waves. It's a quality martial arts series, and if you are not familiar with Korean culture, you can get back some of the culture shock you first had when you discovered manga or anime. Check it out while you can, and congrats. I will be checking that out. I hope it has an English release. I'm not particularly too sure. I have actually heard of it. And I remember it being recommended to me on my last Q&A. So yeah, I will be reading that at some point. Oh my God, the dog has just slathered all over my Gundam volume. Oh, this is disastrous. Thank you, Shadow, for getting your drool all over my priceless Origins volume. Just put that right way up there. I suppose it's my own fault for leaving it around. Okay, next question on my Q&A announcement video. This one's from Hillian Raptor. I'm hoping that I'm pronouncing that right. My question is whether there are any series you've read that you wouldn't recommend. Personally, I've never read a bad manga series. This kind of is in the same vein as my like worst manga. probably something I wouldn't recommend. You know, obviously what I was just mentioning, Drifters. You know, I find it kind of boring. But in terms of things I wouldn't recommend, I think that's kind of subjective to taste. I wouldn't recommend a series like Berserk to somebody who doesn't like violence or gore, or like I wouldn't recommend a series like Dragon Ball to somebody who doesn't like, you know, shonen manga or anything like that. So yeah, I think like dislikable series, you know, like, you know, tastes are different and it's all kind of subjective in that respect. So if I was gonna not recommend something, then it would probably be due to like my own personal taste, like, and I'd be kind of biased because if I would not recommend something and like kind of withhold somebody from not reading something for the fact that I don't like it, then, you know, that's not something I would particularly do. Because if I really don't like something, but somebody else wants to check it out, I'll say to them, check it out for yourself. I personally didn't like it, but I would like to hear your opinion of it, you know, as a reviewer, because I'm a reviewer myself. So if there's other sort of reviewers that want to check out a series that I don't like, you know, and so they can get their own opinion in it, then obviously I'm all for that. So, you know, not recommending something is something that I will kind of stay away from doing, because, you know, I like people to kind of forge their own opinions on series that, you know, I might not like. For example, I really don't like Bleach. I liked it to a certain part, but I just ended up dropping that. And I've been trying to pick it up slowly but surely, but it's just to no real avail. So I'm aware that people, you know, absolutely hold Bleach in massive high regard. It's one of the top 3 manga, you know, that are out publishing these days. So yeah, you know, I wouldn't not recommend a manga series. Your next question is also, have you seen Madoka Magica and what are your thoughts on it? Recently bought that. It was in massive stay in the industry. Not my last one, the one before that. I've seen the first episode of it so far. It seems really, really good. It's up my shelf, just in my Blu-rays right there. I don't want to get around to watching it. Probably sometime soon after I watch Standalone Complex, because it's a relatively short series. It's like, what, 12 episodes, 13 episodes? So yeah, I could probably just marathon all the way through it. You know, I've been getting it recommended to me for like absolute ages. So I'll be sure to watch that. Oh, I'm getting some more questions from you know. Oh my god, I'm getting overloaded. I don't mind though. Let's kind of refresh this page. 12 people watching now. Brilliant. Okay, oh, some comments are hidden as spam. Let's unspam them, shall we? I don't like comments that are hidden as spam. I don't know why that happens. Okay, Naomi Nichols, hello again, asks me, favorite mangaka. Who's my favorite mangaka? Massively difficult question because there are so many great mangakas out there. I have different. My favorite mangaka differs in terms of, you know, what they sort of offer story-wise, artistically, or what, you know, what they do, you know, in support of, you know, their fans. Like, I really like Ichiro Oda for the fact that he you know, he regularly communes with his fans. You know, obviously in each volume there's like an SBS question corner, and like you feel like you know him on a personal level, because like he answers like really stupid questions, and like gets into like jokey sort of you know, like just conversations like with his fans, and you know that he has like massive interaction with his fan base. So, you know, for that I really respect Ichiro Oda for that, and like I'd really like to get to know him. You know, I've been tempted to even send him letters myself, you know, to kind of get myself into the SBS question corner. I'll probably end up doing that at some point. Also, obviously, I really love One Piece. It's my favorite shonen. In terms of art style, it's a kind of a three-way tie between Takehiko Inoue, which is a mangaka for Vagabond, Real, and Slam Dunk, which I haven't read yet. I haven't read Slam Dunk yet. Katsuhiro Otomo, the author behind Akira and Domu: A Child's Dream. Absolutely love his art style. The way he draws like cityscapes that have been just like meshed, you know, destroyed, is amongst some of the best, you know, like destruction scenes I've ever seen. And probably the third one, probably the artist behind Bakuman and Death Note, Tsugomi Oba, I believe his name is. Is it Tsugomi Oba? Is he the writer? I can't remember if it's Takeshi Obata or Tsugomi Oba who's the artist. Yeah, Takeshi Obata. My apologies. He's the artist behind Bakuman and Death Note. I really love his art style. So yeah, probably them three are like my favorite mangaka at this current time. But I always say, you know, anytime I've done like a top 10 favorite video of anything, like I've always said that like my favorites in anything, whether favorite anime, favorite sort of series, whatever, they're always subject to change. So annually, I will be doing like a redux of, you know, them lists that I've done, like my favorite seinen, favorite shonen, you know, favorite animes, you know, things like that, because, you know, they're always changing. So it's always a difficult question to answer. Got one more notification here. Okay. Let's refresh, shall we? I think this live stream is going to be pretty long. Immortalium, hey man. Yo, no advertising for this live stream. Almost missed it. Yeah, man. I actually said in the start of this live stream that it's just a complete impromptu thing. Yeah, I hadn't actually planned on making this a live stream at all. I was planning on just like recording, you know, me answering the questions. But you know, that's kind of what I did last time for my Q&A, and I wanted more people to get involved. You know, for like people who missed the announcement and didn't get to answer me, you know, ask me questions. So. You know, and this is kind of like a practice run. You know, it's kind of like my first official live stream on this on you know, my own channel. So yeah, I'm kind of getting the ropes of things. You know, I kind of want to, you know, be able to know what I'm doing for live streams. You know, when I make like group live streams where I'm going to be talking with you guys and stuff like that. Because I just mentioned previously that I'm going to be sending an application to the Anime Galaxy. So fingers crossed. I'll be involved in a lot more, you know, group sort of live streams, you know, within the near future. So yeah, I didn't advertise this at all. I literally just, I don't know, it was just an impulse. I wanted to do a live stream, you know, first thing on a Monday afternoon. Okay, back to the Q&A announcement questions. Oh, talk of the devil. The next questions are from Immortalium. You might get to see me answer your questions live. My questions are: influence on your style of doing videos. That's a good question. Probably like you're one of the big influences on me, Immortalium, because we have really similar tastes. I'd say in like manga, and you know, the need to sort of experience new sort of you know, material. You know, there's been a lot of sort of, you know, the way in which you you know, describe and like analyze your series, you know, that's something I've definitely, you know, taken into account when, you know, do my own reviews. Other reviewers, probably Code Provider, I really like his reviews, even though he doesn't really do many manga reviews, you know, anymore. He kind of just doesn't, like, you know, in between his chapter reviews and things like that. But there's also a lot of like anime reviewers. Who I've kind of taken influence from. Like I really like Douchebag Chocolate, aka Demolition D+. His reviews are just absolutely amazing. I'd love to be as funny as that guy. But yeah, I think like in terms of influence, I think because when I first started doing reviews, like I had no experience and like no inspiration at all. So. I was kind of just like winging it, and like for the past like 6 months or so, you know, like all the first 6 months of my reviewing, it's, you know, I wasn't you know, scripting any of my videos. I was just kind of winging it, you know, just kind of talking about what comes to my head, and you know, memorizing certain, you know, aspects of a series, you know, that I was reviewing. And it's only until recently that I started writing notes before I, you know, started doing my reviews. So. Where I have my camera now, I have like a sheet of paper right underneath the camera, you know, about points and specific things that I want to talk about. So obviously, you know, I don't come to like a mental block, or, you know, kind of like, what am I going to talk about? You know, because I don't want to do that because it's unprofessional. I want people to be able to like enjoy my reviews and like not kind of, you know, click off it because, you know, like my review style is terrible. So yeah, that's probably some of my biggest influences. Like you definitely influenced me. Because obviously you're one of the only person on YouTube that I really know who's like really into Osamu Tezuka. So yeah, your next question was how people around you react and respond to your love of anime and manga. Pretty positively. My family, really are supportive of my hobby. My mum watches anime sometimes with me, like Studio Ghibli films, which I just mentioned previously. But yeah, I've got a cousin also who's like kind of into anime and manga. I've got friends who are into anime and manga as well. So mostly positive, really. I've never really come across anybody who was like called me like, oh, you like anime and manga or anything like that. Because I'm really open about it. Like my love for anime and manga is something I'm proud of. If I wasn't proud of it, I wouldn't be making videos on YouTube. And I try and get as many people as possible into anime and manga because obviously it's not really that many people that I know of who are into it. So I've got close friends who are like really into anime and manga. So yeah, I've got people who I've got in common with who share my passion. So there's not any sort of negative reaction. There's no negative reactions from people. Fortunately for me. Okay, next question. What are your ideologies and beliefs, such as political, philosophical, and religious? Political. I've kind of taken on the stance where politicians all kind of piss in the same bucket. I don't really follow politics to that, but I do like to keep up on like world events and like things that are happening in the world that are affecting change. I regularly watch the news, not just the BBC News, but Al Jazeera and things like that. That are, you kind of get different information from like different sources. So I don't think it's wise to rely on one news source. Things that are happening in the world, are really important. Even though me personally, I'm living in England, which is a developed country, a peaceful country at that. I think it's good to be aware of the suffering and trials and tribulations that people are going through right now at this minute. I mean, look at the situation in Palestine right now. Just hundreds and hundreds, thousands of women and children getting killed, and like people are ignorant to that because they live in bliss and luxury. So I think it's good to acknowledge that there is still a lot the world needs to fix. Us collectively as a people, we all need to contribute to making the world a better place. I don't want to sound like a beauty pageant, but world peace is just something that needs to be strove for. We live in the 21st century. Why are people still starving? It's like even in places like America and England, two of the biggest superpowers in the world, there's still people who are homeless. It's like, why and how? How are people homeless in a country where there shouldn't be such things as homelessness or starvation? So yeah, I'd probably say I don't support any particular political party, but I do like to keep up to date with the politics of the world. Things that are happening in the world. I don't like to be ignorant to world events and things like that. Okay, philosophical. What I just said previously was all kind of philosophical. Religious. I do believe in God. I have a strong belief in God. I was raised to believe in God. I'm a non-denomination Christian. I'm not Catholic or Protestant. But yeah, I do have strong faith in God. And I have strong faith in that there is something after death. I do believe in the afterlife. I do believe in spirits and existing after death. My biggest fear isn't dying. It's ceasing to exist after you die. If people just die, then and there's nothing after that, then that's kind of like my biggest fear. Kind of tying this in with like manga and anime. If I won't even spoil it, I was going to give a massive Death Note spoiler then, but I'll leave that to anybody who hasn't seen Death Note. But yeah, I'm a Christian. Thanks for your question, Imam Salim. Let's see. Next questions from my announcement page. Okay. Oh, Tank Giant. He asked me questions a week ago also. What is your top 3 favorite anime and top 3 manga? Top 3 anime. I recently did a top three, no, a top five favorite anime list. So I can't actually remember what I put in there. So if you want to go check that out, but off the top of my head, hmm, knowing to your other self. Oh my god, what have I been seeing? Mental block. Black Lagoon. I don't want to go with the obvious choice of Cowboy Bebop. So, ooh, difficult question. Oh my god. I don't know. Check out the video. Top three favorite manga: Parasite, 20th Century Boys, and maybe Vagabond, or maybe Battle Royale. But definitely, Parasite is my #1 favorite manga, and I highly recommend reading it. Okay, your next question was which anime manga has influenced you the most? Influenced me in what respect? There's different types of influence. I'd say One Piece has influenced my need to, that sense of adventure and experimentalism. Going out and doing things new. I'd say One Piece definitely has had like a really positive effect in like leading me in that direction. I'll probably say Vagabond and Akira have influenced me artistically, because both of those art styles are so realistic that I've kind of adopted certain qualities of those two mangas' art styles within my own practice. So I've definitely taken influence from those. Reading like indie manga like from Gen Publishing, or Drawn Quarterly at Picture House, or Picture Box, what we call it, have influenced me to search out new series that underrated. Like I always definitely look out for the underdogs, series that just don't really get enough sales or notice, and yeah, I think like Vertical releases also. They're releasing quite a few Josei manga. And I'm all supportive of things like that. So yeah, I've definitely taken a lot of influence from manga. Your next question: the most emotional manga or anime you have seen, and why is it? That's basically how it was written. Most emotional manga I've ever seen or ever read. Oh god, see, there are so many manga that I've read that aren't necessarily too emotional, but they have really emotional moments. Like again, I'll reference One Piece and the Water 7 arc. That moment with Nico Robin crying, just oh man, it brought tears to my eyes. Emotional manga. The start of Berserk, the Golden Age arc, was like, well, the end of the Golden Age arc was very, very, very emotional. Due to like the character development and like how they developed to that point, and then for it all to just be laid to waste. That was so emotional. Also, the end of Akira, the manga to Akira is like really, really thought-provoking and emotional. But probably in recent months, the most emotionally impactful moment in all of my manga viewing was the end of Bakuman. It was so bittersweet. I mean, it ended perfectly, but it gave you the sense that you just wanted to read more and like learn more about the life of Mishiro and what's her name, his girlfriend. I wanted to see them get married, but you don't ever see it happen. It was a really bittersweet ending, and it like left me sort of staring like into the distance for like about half an hour afterwards, just thinking about the ending, because it was just an amazing series. In terms of anime, recently the end of the Chimera Ant arc, no spoilers, was very emotional. That moment between Meruem and Kamuki was the first time ever really I've actually cried at like a certain moment in an anime. It's really touched me. Like my heart was in my mouth. It was so emotional. There's also like a lot of films, like anime films that I found really emotional, like Grave of the Fireflies. That's such a sad film, so sad. I've only ever seen it once, and I don't think I ever want to see it again because I don't want to put myself through that emotional distress. So yeah, thank you for questions, Tank Giant. Now, before I move on to the questions from the Q&A announcement, I'm going to check some notifications and see if any of you have commented or asked any more questions in the live stream. So I'm just going to refresh this page now. I've got another notification. Okay, refresh. I'm going to keep the Nutri-Grain. I'm peckish. All this talking makes you hungry, seriously. I don't know how you guys do it, because like I know people have done like live streams that are like 4 hours long and things like that, or 5 hours long. It's like, how do you talk for that long without feeling hungry? I need a big plate of bolognese or something. Hitting spot. All right. Stoyan with the picture of Jiraiya in his thumbnail. Congrats on 1,000 of the subs. What do you think is the best anime this season? I've just started watching Moka Mika Kill. Started watching that last night. It's pretty good. But for the most part, I don't really keep up to date with seasonal anime, really. Probably the last seasonal anime that I actually finished was Watamote. That was like last season. Well, it wasn't last season, it was last year, it's like a few seasons ago. Because I'm concentrating so hard on like feeling like, you know, watching the anime that I already own. When it comes to like streaming, you know, like Crunchyroll and things like that, like they're kind of like on like the second, you know, sort of they're second to my anime reviewing. So, but this is like a lot of hype for anime. Like obviously Parasite, I'm gonna be watching Parasite. You know, when it airs, I think is it October that it airs. Either way, I'm gonna be watching and reviewing Parasite. It's my favorite manga, so I'm massively hyped for watching that. I've also been watching Hunter x Hunter. That's coming up to an end, you know, fortunately. Actually, a marathon all the way through Hunter x Hunter 2011, all the way up to episode 144. I think when I got to about 142, it was announced that the anime was going to be coming to an end. So I was, oh man, I was so sad, because I was still kind of recovering from my emotions of, you know, the end of the Chimera and arc. It just kind of compounded it, you know, into like a really sort of big, tight, depressing ball of emotion. It was awful. But yeah, to answer your question, I've started watching Moka Mika Kill. I might start watching Tokyo Ghoul. I've heard that's like really good as well. But you know, I don't really keep up to date with seasonal anime. Next question was top 3 series, manga or anime. Already answered that question, but I'll answer it again. Parasite, Vagabond, Battle Royale off the top of my head for manga. Anime, that was actually a difficult question. No Eating to Your Other Self, Black Lagoon, and I'm gonna have to turn my head again. What else do I like? See, I've got so much anime there that I haven't watched. Oh god, I can't even. I really can't pick a third one. Mushishi. Oh my god, Mushishi. How could I forget that? Even though I haven't seen the entire series. Definitely highly recommend watching Mushishi. What is my name? This is actually something that nobody actually knows yet. I haven't actually revealed my name on my channel yet, so I might as well do it now. I don't have any problem with anybody knowing my name. My name is Adam. Da-da! Now you all know my name. My name's Adam. Okay. Next question from Darius Cypher. What do you think about Berserk now? Last time I saw you talk about you finished the Golden Age arc. Yeah. Now I'm actually on volume 19. I'm in the Conviction arc. I think that's what it's called. After the Golden Age arc, like it took a real step down, not in quality, but in story progression, because obviously like the Golden Age arc had such a crescendo of an ending. It kind of needed to go back to like how it was like in the first 3 volumes, because that's basically essentially where we got back to. You know, the Black Swordsman, you know, kind of going around like killing apostles and things like that. So the Lost Children arc obviously wasn't no way up to par with the Golden Age arc, but it did slow down to an effect. Not to the point where it affected my enjoyment of it. Like I still really do like Berserk, but I'm not picking it up as quickly as I did when I was reading the Golden Age arc. Because when I was reading through the Golden Age arc, like once I read 3 volumes, because I bought them 3 for 2, sorry. Like as soon as I read 3 volumes, I would literally go out the next day and buy 3 more volumes. So I read through the Golden Age arc relatively quickly. You know, and I expected to keep up that pace until I caught up to like volume 37, but you know, it just didn't really pan out that way. So I'm just kind of picking up volumes as and when, you know, I have like free change. So I do like Berserk, but you know, it's kind of slowed down for me, and you know, I'm not really enjoying it to the effect that, you know, I was enjoying it when I was reading the Golden Age arc. So you know, it's still a great series, but you know, I'm going to pick up the rest of it as and when I pick it up. But yeah, that's the question for that. Another question from Tank Giant. Favorite manga cover? Ooh, that's a hard one. That's a really hard question. Again, I'm gonna have to break my neck and turn you around. Favorite manga cover? I'm just gonna stand up. Sorry. Oh Jesus. High School of the Dead. I mean, I don't really like the series, but the Empress did such a great job of it. I mean, check that out. Such a great cover. Also. Akira covers, let's see, which is the best one. I don't really like the Akira covers. The Mobile Suit Origin volumes have really cool covers. But to pick one definitive favorite cover, it's like asking, you know, oh my gosh, it's like asking what your favorite song is. It's just impossible to answer, you know, one sort of definitive favorite cover, because there's just so many to choose from. But yeah, probably, yeah, the Gundam Origin volumes are really good. Like, I'm just reading through volume 5, the Sharon Sailor volume, which has an absolutely epic cover with Shah as Novel on the front cover there. I love the sort of like red block, you know, design that has to it. And yeah, the covers for these vertical releases are just absolute stellar, beautiful, beautiful covers. So yeah, that's probably a selection of my favorite manga covers. All right, where am I? I couldn't think of a question. Okay, Manga McFly. I recently just watched your pickup video today. I need to comment on it. I couldn't think of a question until now. What's an example of a Gekiga manga? That's a really good question. Gekiga, if you're unfamiliar with, is essentially what graphic novels are to comics. The term Gekiga was invented by Yoshihiro Tatsumi, I believe, in the 1950s, and it was basically a response to how manga was back then and how it was targeted towards children, because a lot of the manga back then was like gag manga, you know, comic strip style manga, like Peanuts sort of magazines, that sort of stuff. So Yoshihiro Tatsumi wanted to revolutionize like what manga was back then, and start creating manga that was targeted towards like all the demographics, like, you know, for adults, by employing, you know, plot devices like, you know, tragedy and, you know, story progression, character development, and just a lot more serious sort of stories. So you know, that's basically how Gekiga began, but it developed from there. Like, you know, mangaka who dealt primarily with like independent experimentational like stories, you know, started employing the use of, you know, Gekiga elements. So if I had to give you like a specific example, probably like the earliest Gekiga style manga that I own, by Yoshihiro Tatsumi himself, Black Blizzard. It's a good example of a Gekiga manga. It's kind of like a cat and mouse game. It employs you know, stylized sort of choices of like, you know, film noir sort of influence and things like that. You know, it's got really good panel arrangement and things like that. It's just basically when manga became avant-garde and started pushing the boundaries of what it essentially could be. You know, something that's targeted towards adults and, you know, breaking the mold and breaking the stereotype. But there's other more sort of experimentationalized Gekiga style manga. from like mangaka like Seiji Hayashi. This is his Gold Pollen and Other Stories, which is a collection of stories that deal with like his personal life, and him kind of like putting his own like childhood experiences into like allegories and metaphors, and kind of mixing his own personal experiences with like Japanese and American pop culture. And it's basically, give you like an example here. You know, it's got a really unique art style, which is kind of like a 60s kind of mesh of psychedelia, kind of weirdness, because he also used to design like album designs and things like that, and like poster designs and things like that. So yeah, Gekiga is essentially a step back away from manga that was targeted towards children. I believe Gekiga itself actually means like serious story or something like that, or I can't remember the exact nature of the the exact translation of the word, but it essentially means serious stories targeted towards adults. So yeah, thanks for that question. I'm actually going to be doing a series of Gekiga related videos to coincide maybe with my Tezuka season. Yeah, I want to do a new segment of videos called Gekiga Spotlight, where I basically deconstruct what Gekiga is, and kind of help to help people to understand and kind of get into it, because Gekiga is like, it's kind of like a niche within a niche. I mean, it's manga, but not really many people who enjoy manga know about Gekiga and like its influence that it's had on modern day manga, because without Gekiga you wouldn't probably have like things like One Piece and Naruto and things like that, or modern seinen series, because seinen, the demographic of seinen basically adapted from Gekiga, to my understanding. So Gekiga has had a massive influence on manga today. I mean, it even influenced the powerhouse that was Osamu Tezuka. Like, he started employing use of Gekiga in his own manga. So you learn more about that once you start reading through my Gekiga and doing my my Tezuka and doing my Tezuka reviews. So yeah, really good question. I'm glad I've kind of started to address that. Okay, got some more notifications here. Just more people sharing the video. Cool, thank you guys. Another bite of my nutrient. So hungry. All this bloody talking. How long have we been going on for now? How long is this video? Bloody hell, we're already past an hour. Oh my god. This is going to be a long stream. Okay. Back to my questions on the Q&A announcement. Next question came from Banana the Movie. Oh, no, it's not a question. I can't come up with any good questions right now, so I may comment with some questions later. Okay. Okay, the next question. Rock and Roll Lives. I know he's been a subscriber of mine for absolutely ages. I think he's one of my first subscribers, so thank you. They're still supporting me, up until now. His question to me was, how did you first get into manga? It was anime that got me into manga, essentially. I first got into manga when I was in primary school or elementary school, around the age of like 9 or 10. First ever anime I watched was Pokemon. It's like, it was so popular back in the 90s. So I started watching Pokemon. Pokemon got me onto Dragon Ball Z as I got older, and then I got interested in reading the Dragon Ball Z manga. When I first went to my local Forbidden Planet store, I never knew manga even existed until I went into there, because I went in there to buy a poster, a Dragon Ball Z poster that I'd seen in the window, and like when I got there, it was gone. So I went in store to ask them if they had anything else that was like Dragon Ball Z related. So they showed me towards the manga, and I was like, whoa, anime comics. Oh, that's what I called them back then. I didn't know, what it was called manga at that time. So yeah, started reading the Dragon Ball Z manga. I first started collecting them in like issues, like paperback issues, before I started reading the actual graphic novel tankobon releases. I had a load of the Dragon Ball Z issues, so I used to read through them, and actually stupidly enough, because I wasn't accustomed to reading comics in black and white. When I got the Dragon Ball Z issues, I got like a lot of my pencil crayons and started colouring through like an absolute idiot, and I don't know where they are now. They're probably lost in the oblivion of my attic somewhere, but you know, they're probably worth a lot of money now, or at least they would be if I hadn't fucked them up by colouring them in. But yeah, that's essentially how I got into to manga. You know, Dragon Ball Z really got me into the Dragon Ball Z manga, and once I started reading the Dragon Ball Z manga, then it just escalated. I got into like Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, and things like that, even though I don't really like Bleach now. But yeah, as you can see, it just escalated, and it's continuing to escalate like a snowball effect. I just keep accruing more and more manga month by month. So yeah, thanks for that question, Rock and Roll Lives. Okay. Next question or request is from Only Name Available. My question is basically a request. Recommend me or other person watching this a 1-volume long manga, a single volume or an omnibus, please. Recently I read Azumanga Daioh. I did a review of it. It's basically a slice of life centering around the lives of like a few schoolgirls, and you know, the conversations that they have, you know, the kind of funny antics that they get up to, you know, in class, going on like summer holidays and things like that. Just a really fun school life, slice of life comedy by Koyohiko Azuma, the same mangaka behind what's the name? Yosabato. But Azumanga Daioh is published in a 4-in-1 omnibus, so you can basically read through the entire series, you know, without having to buy more volumes. Also, I'd highly recommend Tech on Concrete by Taiyo Matsumoto. Also did a review of that. That's a 3-in-1, but it comes in obviously 1 volume, 3-in-1. That's definitely something that you should read if you're into like alternative manga, because the art style and the way the story is told is like very, very alternative. Especially considering the fact that Taiyo Matsumoto's art style is heavily reminiscent of French comic art. So that's a really good singular volume to read, Tech on Concrete. Also did a review of this, Baron the Cat Returns. This is a single volume manga, which is with the inspiration for The Cat Returns, you know, the very popular Studio Ghibli film from 2002. But yeah, this is also a really good volume, single volume manga you can read. But yeah, that's a few selections. You know, I hope that helped. Yeah. Okay. Pardon me. Just refresh this page. Check some more comments. 14 people watching. Woo! I didn't think it'd get this popular. Cheers, guys. Where's my bottle of water? Ah, yeah, thank you, Amal Salian. Gekiga means dramatic pictures. That's it. Yeah, dramatic pictures. Yeah, I've got some more questions on the live stream page. Okay, this question comes from Azio. What do you like about Guts from Berserk? Guts, he's got a compassionate side, but for the most part, he's extremely violent. But he isn't violent for no reason. Like, he's always got a cause, and he's always got absolute conviction. What I like about Guts is for the fact that he's self-disciplined to the point where it's like an obsession with him. He's probably got the strongest willpower in any sort of manga protagonist that I've ever come across. His self-determination and conviction in what he wants to do and what he wants to get done is absolutely astonishing. If he wants to get something done, he will get it done. And you know, from the events of the eclipse, he's even more, you know, he's even got more conviction in what he wants to get achieved. So that's what I really like about Guts. You know, he's a man of action. He doesn't really talk much. You know, he expresses himself through actions, mostly killing. Yeah, that's what I really like about Guts. He's actually a really well-developed character, and because he's got that compassionate side that you don't really get to see that often, namely towards Casca and like his fellow raiders and things like that. It compounds like his need to get things done, his need to protect others, things like that. So, he can be a bit of an arsehole sometimes, but he gets things done. He doesn't kill without reason, which is why I really respect him. Another question from Tangchai. Do you ever get US DVDs or just stick to the UK releases? I do sometimes get US DVDs. I got my Mushishi box set imported from the US. I have a Region 1 DVD player. So I will be buying more US DVDs. I want to pick up the Dragon Ball Z Blu-rays because they're region free. The Region A and the Region B, so I can play them on my Blu-ray player. But for the most part, I stick to the UK releases because they're basically what's immediately available. And I like to support UK distributors like MVM, Manga UK, especially Anime Limited as well, because they're one of the sort of up-and-coming anime distributors in the UK. So I like to, if I had to choose first, I would choose to buy the UK release of a series rather than opt out for the US release. Like for example, One Piece. I've got the One Piece box sets there. They're the UK releases, which are actually more expensive than the American releases. Like the American releases, I think I can get for about £15, including shipping. But I just opted out for the UK releases because, why not? I'll support them first. More notifications on my phone. Okay. Just follow any series online. Yeah. Amazing the shift you've. Amazing the shift you've had for Hunter x Hunter. Glad to see that. Yeah, man. If nobody else knows, Immortalium is basically referring to the fact that I really didn't like Hunter x Hunter when I first started reading it, because I started reading the manga first. I read the first 10 volumes, got up to the, I think it was like the York New Election arc, and it just really wasn't doing anything for me. I didn't dislike the series, but I was disappointed in the fact that I didn't like it as much as I thought I would. So I just basically put it down and dropped it. And then recently, like about a month ago, I started watching the 2011 anime, and I was instantly hooked. The anime is just absolutely phenomenal, and I'm absolutely gutted, fucking gutted, that it's coming to an end. But what can you expect when Yoshihiro Togashi, is going on his hiatus and things like that? I understand that he's constantly ill and things like that, so it's not really my place to call him lazy or anything like that, because I don't really know his situation. But it just, for the fact that the anime is ending and I've essentially been an anime only watcher because I don't read the manga from volume 10, for the fact that I'm going to have to start picking up the manga now, and basically catching up, and then being one of the fans that is dying for more Hunter x Hunter chapters, because I believe where the manga is now, it's in like an arc where you're going into like a new sort of continent or something like that, like the Dark Continent or something like that. It seems really cool. Like more world expansion, that's like something that Hunter x Hunter, I believe, is really, really needed. The Chimera arc really sort of adapted on the whole world building thing, with like the all NGL and East Gorto and all that, those places like that, so it does have really good world building. But now with the new arc, I believe they're going into like an entire continent. So there's range of opportunity there to like make an entire different world, and kind of veer the story and like the characters like in a whole new direction. So I'm really gutted that the anime's ending and not the manga's on hiatus again. So what can you do? Okay, Pobart13. How far are you into Hunter x Hunter 2011? And what do you think of it so far? But I've just explained what I think of it. I'm completely caught up today. I'm on episode 144. I'm not sure when 145 comes out. I think that's in either today or tomorrow or something like that. But yeah, I'm completely caught up to it. Immortalium. I knew your name. It was the envelope you sent me. Yeah, it was. I sent him 7 billion needles when he won the competition. I sent a letter. The Artemina, He commented, "I've heard people with the name Adam are pretty cool." Well, thank you. I'm not one to blow my own trumpet, but yeah, I guess I'm pretty awesome. Marvel Dude 95 comments, "Who was your favorite battle royale character?" Without a shadow of a doubt, Shogo Kawada. He was just a freaking awesome character. The shotgun and that scar on the side of his head. He was an awesome character for the fact that he was kind of like the leader. You know, when he met up with what's his name, Shuya Nanahara and Nojiko, you know, he kind of led them through the mess that was, you know, the death game, because he'd experienced it before anyway. So you know, I thought he was a really powerful character, and like the way you know, his character concludes like really sad. But yeah, he was my favorite character from Battle Royale, without a shadow of a doubt. He was so cool. Another notification here. Okay, I'm going to answer some more questions from the Q&A announcement, because I've still got quite a lot to go through. Okay, Archangel Anime Review asks me a few questions. Why did you decide to make your name like that? That's literally just how it's wrote. I'm guessing he's referring to my username. Archangel Manga. Another thing I haven't explained, you know, alongside my actual name. Archangel doesn't really have much significance to the fact that I like manga. I did. This is kind of embarrassing because usually like a channel name has like, you know, massive significance to the content that's on it, but the Archangel came from Mass Effect 2, which does have nothing to do with manga and anime. But my favorite character from Mass Effect 2 was Garrus, the Turian, the sniper, and his alias was Archangel. So that's basically where I took that from. And manga, obviously I'm into manga, so Archangel Manga. Yeah, nothing too special, no significant deep meaning behind it. He also asks me, what got you into anime manga? I've already answered that question, so I'll kind of give like a brief sort of description. Dragon Ball Z got me into anime manga when I was younger. Started reading the Dragon Ball Z manga, and yeah, escalated from there. Now his next question is pretty interesting. Have you ever cosplayed? If you did, what did you dress up as? No, I have not cosplayed, but I really want to cosplay. I'm planning on maybe going to a con this year. Also go to the one down in London, I believe. I think it's in October, maybe. But if I was ever going to cosplay, I'd cosplay as somebody who I vaguely look like. So, you know, if I dyed my hair green, got some piercings, and got some katana, I could maybe pull off a, you know, a good Zoro from One Piece. Yeah, I would really like to cosplay. Yeah, cosplaying is cool. Okay. Next questions come from Light Ichigo. How do you support your manga anime collection hobby, or more precisely, what is your job? I'm a student, well, or at least I'm a finishing student. I work part time, and in fact, I'm not gonna. That's a secret. I work full time now, actually, because I finished uni. So my actual job description is an absolute secret. It's the CIA. I'm joking. Okay, next question. Have you thought of getting into digital art and maybe post some of your artwork in DeviantArt or DeviantArt? I used to have a tablet. I used to have a drawing tablet, and I'm kind of competent enough on Photoshop. You know, I can kind of work my way around it, but you know, I'm out of practice. Anytime I do art digitally, like I'll actually draw a sketch, you know, or at least this is how I used to do it. I'll actually draw something in like physical copy, scan it in, and like, you know, put tone or something like that. You know, edit it digitally. But actually doing a drawing digitally is not something that I'm not too accustomed to doing. But I do actually have a DeviantArt profile, but I rarely use it. I've probably got about 2 or 3 pictures up on there. So yeah, maybe I should get more into that. Okay, your third question, Light Ichigo, was, are you into gaming? Yes, I'm massively into gaming. Well, used to be massively into gaming, but due to the fact that I went to university and I had like no time to myself, you know, everything was dedicated to studying, I kind of got out of gaming. But I really like RPGs like Fallout 3. probably one of my favorite RPGs. Elder Scrolls V, Skyrim, Mass Effect, which I just previously mentioned. I'm not really into hack and slash games. Like I tried Dante's Inferno. I really like that just for the actual story rather than the actual gameplay. Most of the games that I own are actually digital because I'm subscribed to PS Plus. So I play the games that basically get off there for free, you know, the instant game collection. But I'm also really into first-person shooters like Crysis. I played all 3 Crysis games: Crysis 1, Crysis 2, and Crysis 3. I really like Battlefield. I used to like Call of Duty, but when they released Call of Duty 3, Modern Warfare 3, sorry, I kind of got out of it. Didn't play Black Ops. I'm mostly a Battlefield fan, so you know, don't shoot me if you're a Call of Duty fan. I know basically Call of Duty fans and Battlefield fans are kind of like Naruto fans and One Piece fans. They just hate each other. Yeah. One last quick question. Which phone do you own? You don't have to answer this if you get a lot of questions. I own a iPhone. This is a 4S, so it's a pretty old model now, but it's served me for 3 years. It's still in pretty pristine condition, so I have no reason to really trade it in. It's a good phone. Serves its purpose and it's durable, which is basically all I ask for with a phone, that it lasts long. Because I don't like upgrading phones like, you know, every couple of months. It's just a waste of money, really. Okay, this is Pobart13's question from a week ago. What other hobbies do you have? Besides anime and manga, I actually do enjoy reading, you know, like novels and things like that. I like reading autobiographies. Like I've got Anthony Kiedis' autobiography, Slosh's autobiography, you know, but outside hobbies, like I really like going like pub lunches with my friends. You know, there's a pub just like down the end of my street and like a carvery place about a mile away from me. I love going for pub lunches. I basically love hanging out with my friends. Like literally, anytime I meet up with my friends, like in the town centre, we'll just walk around aimlessly, just like having like a conversation. And then like we'll realise like after half an hour, wait, where are we actually going? That happens quite a lot, where we just basically get locked off in conversation, just like walk around aimlessly, and then eventually find something to do. So yeah, but like hanging around with my close friends. I like doing like social events, like going bowling. Went paintballing a few years ago, about 2 years ago. That was really fun. Albeit it was really painful. I like going go-karting. And I like getting out of the city. That's probably my biggest hobbies, which is something that I don't get to indulge in very often, or at least I haven't been able to do it very often, obviously, because I've been studying at university. But I really do like to get out and about. I love the outdoors. I've always been an outdoors person. I love going for like long walks with my dog. Obviously, I take my dog for walks and things like that. So, yeah, they're probably like my main hobbies. But primarily, you know, my biggest sort of passion is obviously anime and manga. But anytime I'm reading a manga, I like to sit outside. You know, if it's like nice and sunny or something, like I'll sit outside with a beer, and, you know, just read a manga. Yeah, so yeah, thanks for that question. Okay, I'm gonna check some more notifications, some more comments on the live stream. Yeah. Still 14 people watching. Thank you so much, guys. More people sharing the video. Okay. Oh, Moss said there are a lot of questions in the Q&A up. You should check it. Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, bloody hell. Yeah, I'm just coming across this now, guys. Yeah, there is a lot of questions here. Mason Anime Chats has asked me most of them. So what is the manga that you've owned the longest but haven't read? Oh man, that's a good question. Because I have such an extensive backlog, there are a lot of manga that I've owned for a while, probably over a year, that I haven't got around to reading. You know, I'm really neglecting Blade of the Immortal, as you can see, just back there. Let's see. I'm going to be rectifying the fact that I've been neglecting my Osamu Tezuka manga by doing my Tezuka season. As you know, I've owned them for a while, but I haven't read them. But probably the longest thing that I've owned and haven't read all the way through is Without a Shadow of the Doubt by Omega. I've read the first 3 volumes of this, bought the first 3 volumes about 4 years ago, and I still haven't completed the series. You know, that really needs rectifying. What do you say is the most expensive manga you own, not including box sets? The most expensive manga that I bought probably was Monster Volume 5 because it was out of print. And I paid £25 for it like an idiot. But in terms of like in-print manga, you know, how it's actually valued, probably my Nose Through the Valley of the Wind box set, that retails at about £45, I think. So that's pretty expensive. So yeah, oh, but you said not including box sets. I don't know. Probably my Akira manga or some of my Bizbigs. You know, they're pretty expensive. What's the most unsatisfying series you've read or watched? Not your least favorite series, but unsatisfying. Elfen Lied for anime, Drifters for manga. What is your opinion on uber fan service shows like High School of the Dead or High School DxD? I liked High School of the Dead because I like zombies. The fan service, you know, I wasn't really much of a fan of, especially the Matrix boobs like scene like that. I liked it for its like, you know, the fact that it was completely over the top. But you know, if I'll kind of avoid watching shows with too much fan service, especially High School DxD. I've seen the first episode of that and just gave up. I was like, no, I can't take any more of this. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of ecchi series, to be fair. What would you say is the single most obscure series you own? Wow. No, I'd like to say some of my rare vertical releases like 7 Billion Needles or something like that, but probably this one right here. I don't. This series, this manga that I'm going to show you right now, isn't even listed on my anime list. I tried to make a listing myself, but I think it got like denied by one of the moderators or something. Yeah, the most obscure series I own, or volume of manga, is Carmen, right there. It's by a publisher called Gen Publishers. They basically publish things directly from Tokyo, directly from Japan, and you know, basically a lot of their stuff is funded by like Kickstarter and things like that. So they're really, really underrated as publishers. You know, they've got quite I think they've got a digital service as well. You know, I highly recommend checking them out. I see you have a lot of monster volumes to the side. Which ones are you going to keep collecting the singles? I'm missing 3 singles, Volume 3, Volume 8, and Volume 9. Unless I can get them for a good price, which is, you know, doubtable, I won't buy them. Because I'm already thinking of buying the Monster Perfect editions. If I knew that Monster was going to be getting a reprint, I wouldn't even bought the singles at all. I'd have just waited for the Perfect editions to be released. But at the time, I would just, you know, I was kind of still getting into you know, seinen manga, so you know, I still read all the way through it. I borrowed the outprint volumes that I didn't have off of my friend, so I could read through it. Okay, Khalid Al Fayedi asks, do you own any Gurren Lagann? I'm going to be buying the Gurren Lagann box set, hopefully the collector's edition when it's released later this autumn, I think, by All the Anime Limited. I remember Khalid Al Fayedi from my previous Q&A as well, like months and months ago, so, you know, good to see you still supporting me, mate. Okay, another question from Mason Anime Chats. If you could read only one Naoki Urasawa work, which one would you read? Also, are you going to pick up Urasawa's Master Keaton when it comes out from Viz? If I could only pick one series to read by Naoki Urasawa, you know, if I was like stuck on a deserted island or something like that, I'd choose 20th Century Boys, as that was the first Naoki Urasawa series I've read, and probably my favourite so far of what I've read of his. Also, I have Master Keaton in my wish list on Amazon, so I'll definitely be picking that up when it's released. Another question from Mason Anime Chats. How do you feel about the Claymore ending? If you're referring to the anime, I'd probably say it's terrible. Terrible ending, but it was filler, so you know, you can't really expect any more. Your next question, which is your favourite English manga distribution company? Which is your least favourite? If you're talking about manga, then I'll probably say Vertical, because they push out like some really cool obscure series, and like their job with the Gundam volumes alone, merit them to be amongst at least one of my favorite. But obviously, I really like Viz. I don't really get a lot of Yen Press manga, but Yen Press push out some really good hardcovers, drawn on quarterly. I can't really pick a favorite really. Each publisher publishes some amazing material. Another question from Khalid Al Fayedi, I believe. Or is this another one from Mason Anime? Yeah, this is from Mason Anime Chat. I'm reading through Parasite right now, and it's absolutely amazing. Good. Are you looking forward to the anime? Yes, I'm going to be reviewing it weekly as it comes out. Another question from Khalid Al Fayedi. Do you like Kamina? I'm aware he's a character from Gurren Lagann, but I haven't watched Gurren Lagann yet, so no spoilers. Like I said, I'm going to be picking that up when it's released. There is a lot of questions here. What manga series do you want the most to be licensed for English release, not including relicenses? There's a manga called Saint Young Men, which is basically about Jesus and Buddha coming on a vacation to Earth, specifically Tokyo, taking a break from their heavenly duties, and it's like a slice of life paranormal comedy. I really want that to be released. It sounds like such a funny series. I really want that to be released. Question from Dr. Reaper Overlord. What do you think was the worst manga you've ever read? I don't really have a worst, but Drifters by the same creator as Hellthing, like I mentioned previously, is a series I dropped. I also dropped the two. I really don't like them. Also, I don't really like Bleach either. I ended up dropping that. Another question from Mason Anime Chats. What do you believe is the most terribly overrated series out there? The most terribly underrated? To be honest, like anything that has massive popularity will always be subject to people saying it's overrated. I don't know. I'd probably say Bleach is overrated, to be fair. I mean, I've never been really able to get into it like wholeheartedly as I have with the other two of the big three. I really don't see the the big hype surrounding it. Also, the same thing with Fairy Tail as well. Granted, I haven't read much of Fairy Tail, but I've read a little bit of it, and I don't see the appeal of it really. I mean, I don't know. They're probably some of the most overrated series I'd probably be able to think of off the top of my head. In terms of underrated, oh god, so many underrated series. Probably, I mean, if you've ever seen one of my sustained industry videos, like a lot of the manga that I pick up are manga that people don't really seem to like give any sort of attention to. I mean, I could name dozens and dozens of series that could be considered underrated. In regards to the UK and American audience. Like Saturn Apartments, 7 Billion Needles, Children of the Sea, Apple Siege, Real, God, so many. Mail, the Kurosaki Corpse Delivery Service, Drifting Life, Wandering Sun, Azuin Winter, Erme Rome. There's just too many to name, seriously. There's so many underrated series that, underrated, not giving enough attention from UK and American audiences. They'd be popular in Japan, but yeah, I'm talking another Nutrigrain. So I'll keep my energy up. Oh jeez. Okay. I'm just refreshing the page. There's a lot of questions on here, a lot of comments. Oh, I think Immortalium just clarified that Mason meant the Claymore manga is ending soon. No! You serious? Are you kidding me? Where's that question again? So Mason Anime Chats was when I answered that wrong. Obviously, I thought it was referring to the anime. like what I thought of the ending to the anime. Oh man, I can't believe that. I never knew Claymore was ending. Oh man. Oh shit. Well, now I know. Now you've got my live reaction to how I feel about the Claymore manga anime ending. Oh shit, man. Oh, Claymore is one of my favorite shonen as well. I hope it, at the very least, I hope it's not rushed. I know I'm aware that it's a monthly series, and I think it's about 25 volumes that have been released in Japan so far. So, I mean, they were just getting onto like a new big part. You know, I don't want it to end. It sucks, man. Hmm. More questions. Tank Giant, Xbox or PlayStation? My favorite game. PlayStation, Fallout 3, definitely. BDT87 asked me some more questions here. Are you going to buy any Japanese manga for collecting purposes or try to read it? I have put manga on hold for now because the next ones I'm going to buy are Japanese manga. If it goes well and I can't actually read it, I might start buying manga in Japanese instead of the English ones, really. The only Japanese manga I'm thinking of buying is a manga called Gon. For the fact that it doesn't have any text. I don't plan on ever learning to read Japanese or buying any Japanese manga for that because I have, enough problems with finding shelf space, already at the moment. So I don't want to be filling up shelf space for manga that I'm never going to be able to read anyway. So I can't really ever see myself buying Japanese manga because I don't plan on really learning it. But I'm not against anybody else buying Japanese manga. I think it's a really good thing to support. Buying it directly from the source. Buying the actual original material, especially for collectors' purposes. I think it's a really good idea. But personally, I can't really see myself buying Japanese manga, or at least in the foreseeable future. That's a good question. All right. Next question on the Q&A announcement page. Favorite shonen manga. This by the way, is from username 786. He asked me favorite shonen manga, One Piece. Favorite seinen manga, Parasite. Favorite anime, Mushishi. In Serious Sweet, his questions to me were, have you read Vinland Saga? Yes, I've read the first 2 volumes of Vinland Saga. The first 2 volumes, basically because they're omnibus, is essentially the first 4 volumes. But I own the 3rd hardback of Vinland Saga, but I haven't read it yet. Pretty good series. In Serious Sweet's next question, do you have any plans on trying to learn Japanese? I just answered that. Unfortunately, no. I tried about a year ago. I tried learning what do you call it? Not katakana. Is it katakana? Oh, yeah, katakana and hiragana because they're kind of like the basics. I just kind of got out of it. I'm not really. I mean, I'm not really. I can't really say because I don't know. I like the language, and obviously, like being in the anime and manga community, sort of kind of hear certain terms that people use like quite frequently. So you kind of start to like understand the structure of how Japanese is like I don't know, read or spoken or anything like that. So I don't know, to be honest. I think the best time to ever learn a language is while it's still young, because obviously your brain's more absorbent and like you can process information like much easier. I don't think at this stage in my life, as old as I am, it would be wise to start learning another language. In my personal opinion, for me, I'm not saying anybody else shouldn't. I'm not saying that you shouldn't learn a language later in life, because obviously some people can adapt quicker than others. Me personally, I don't think it would work. Next question. What's your favorite TV show, not anime related? Breaking Bad was my favorite, but obviously that's finished now. That's amazing. So right now I'm not actually watching anything, but I am wanting to get into pardon me. I'm actually wanting to get into Game of Thrones. I've heard really great things about Game of Thrones, and everybody's kind of going on about it. So I'll end up renewing my Netflix membership, and then probably watching through that. Okay. So yeah, thanks for your questions, Insidious Swede. Next questions come from Never Knows Best. I believe in one video you said you were studying art. That's correct. So I'm curious as to what you want to do for a career. What are your dreams? Just curious. Yeah, I've just finished studying art. I could go into... There are a number of avenues where I could go down with that. Because it's contemporary art, I could kind of become an independent artist and start creating my own work. Or I could go into the business side of it and, like, get involved in curatorship and gallery, organization and things like that. So, but generally I'd like to kind of get into the business side of it, because being an independent artist, like, creating art is all well and good, but people aren't buying your art. People will be buying your name. So to get that, to get notorious as like a great artist is something that's going to be a lot more difficult, I feel, than kind of working for a gallery itself or becoming a curator or things like that, or an art dealer or something like that. So I think I'd like to go into the business side of art. Okay, next questions come from Karu Go. Who's your favorite anime and manga reviewer on YouTube? I don't necessarily say, I wouldn't really say I had a favorite, but there are people I watch more than others. Obviously, I keep up to date with, like, NC Anime Manga, Code Provider, Immortalium. I used to watch Benevol's videos a lot, but I kind of, I don't really watch his videos much anymore. I really like, I like Gekiga's videos, but because he doesn't really upload anything, there's no point really watching his videos. In terms of anime reviewers, BDT87 made some good reviews. He did some really good reviews on his previous channel. Douchebag Chocolate, Demolition D, Glass Reflections reviews, Arcada, Go to Jesus, he made some good videos. A lot. I'm subscribed to a lot of people. Anime Every Day, he does some really good videos. His videos are very professional. Let's see, there's lots of people I'm subscribed to. Cynical Noob, he did some good videos. Count Mecha, he doesn't really do many manga reviews, but some of the manga reviews that he's done are really good. Bob Samurai, he's one of my favorites, I'd say. Really like Bob Samurai's reviews. Yeah, just out of a random selection. Yeah, I'd probably say some of them. Sun Wukong, he was actually he just come back from hiatus. He did some really great reviews. He's in my recommended channels list. I highly recommend going to check out his channel. Yeah, they're probably some of my favorite reviewers. Let's see. Next questions come from Count Jokey. Have you seen Kill la Kill yet, bro? No, I didn't watch it while it was airing because I wanted to wait until it got released, and it's getting a DVD Blu-ray release pretty soon. So I'm going to be buying that without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah, I think is it by Gainax? I think it's by Gainax. That's definitely a selling point for me. Next questions come from NZ Anime Manga. The questions he asked me a week ago. So his first question was, what inspired you to start making anime and manga videos? First person I ever subscribed to who was manga anime related was World, and then from him I subscribed to Code Provider, and then the first video from Code Provider I ever saw was his manga collection video, and that's kind of what inspired me to start collecting manga more seriously and get into more stuff. Because at that point, the only manga that I kind of owned was Akira, the big three. And a few other miscellaneous series like 20th Century Boys and things like that, but I didn't have a vast collection. Probably only about 100 or 200 manga volumes. So yeah, kind of Benevoled and Code Provider kind of got me into being an active commenter, at least on YouTube. So yeah, that's kind of what got me into it. Guilty pleasure manga series. I don't know really. I mean, I can't really say I ever feel guilty about reading a manga series. I don't know, really. I kind of enjoy most of what I've read, to be honest. Uh, I've never felt embarrassed about reading a particular series, so I can't really answer that one. What's my guilty pleasure genre? Hmm. Well, I haven't really read much shoujo, so I can't really say that. But not that shoujo is the demographic what we're talking about. Guilty pleasure genre. Hmm. I don't know, maybe romance. I haven't read much romance, but maybe that. Favorite series that you own? If it's in terms of enjoyment, then I'd probably say in Parasite and 20th Century Boys. But in terms of its actual quality, then I would say my favorite manga that I own is my Nausicaa box set. That's just an amazing, amazing quality box set. Or Mobile Suit Gundam The Origin, because they're just amazing volumes. Rarest series you own? My Battle Royale Ultimate Editions from Tokyo Pop, which has long died. Bloody Tokyo Pop. Yeah, thanks for your questions, NZ or Zach. Next questions come from Walking 00 Dead. He's another one, a long time. In fact, yeah, he's also one of my favorite anime reviewers, anime manga reviewers too. How can I miss him? What are your top 3 all-time movies? That's another thing. That's one of my biggest hobbies as well. Watching movies, non-anime related movies. The Green Mile, Schindler's List, Shawshank Redemption, Godfather, Casino. That's way more than 3, I know, but yes, them films. Absolutely love. I love gangster films and things like that, and dramas, historical dramas. What is your favorite video game and why? Fallout 3 is my favorite video game. I really like the sort of 1950s inspired apocalypse that it had with it. I love RPGs, and it just had an amazing story. Third question was favorite cartoon growing up as a kid. Oh, I've got so many to choose from. Recess, Lloyd in Space, Teen Titans, that was a really great cartoon. Megas XLR, Dexter's Lab, Powerpuff Girls, God, so many. Ren and Stimpy, Rugrats, so many great cartoons. Obviously, it's not really like that nowadays. You don't really have any good cartoons anymore. What's your favorite cover art on any manga or anime? I can't believe I got that question twice. Oh man. In terms of anime, I really like my art boxes, like my Ghost in the Shell, Black Lagoon, Speedgrapher, and Robotech art boxes. They're pretty cool. Okay, I'm just going to check some notifications. I don't want to be neglecting all of you people who are watching me live. What's kind of going on in the comment section? See what's going on. Refresh. Oh, okay, Kill la Kill was made by Studio Trigger, who are made up of people who used to be in Gainax. Mainly people who made Gurren Lagann. Okay, cool. Game of Thrones isn't on Netflix. Ah, fuck. But yeah, people are recommending me, like Zach. He recommended me Game of Thrones. It's cool. I'm laughing so hard at your live reaction. I'm assuming you mean Claymore. Oh, Jesus, man. Oh, just pissed off about that. Let's see. Questions. Guts from Berserk or Thorfinn from Vinland Saga. No, wait, sorry. Guts versus Thorfinn. Guts would absolutely beat the crap out of Thorfinn. I'm sorry, but Thorfinn is a kid. Maybe his dad, would have like a chance maybe against Guts, but it's Guts. Guts would, oh man, he'd decimate Thorfinn. I'm sorry. That question, by the way, was from Azio. And what's him? You're eating like a madman. I'm hungry, bro. I'm really, really hungry. All this talking, oh man, hungry work, man. Question from Seem Codger. Doubt I'm pronouncing that right. Do you prefer 20th Century Boys or Monster? 20th Century Boys. I read that first. I prefer the characters in that. I think they've got a better main protagonist. Don't kill me. Another question from Pobart13. Have you seen any of the Berserk movies? Berserk movie 3 will come out October 6th. Oh, cool. That's the Ant-Man, right? I've seen the first one. The Golden Age arc, I think it's just called. Really good film. Really, really awesome film. I saw it at the Leeds Film Festival a few years back, and it's awesome. Really, really awesome. Question, is this a question or just a comment? Manga McFly, oh, thanks for answering. I'm going to add some Gekiga manga to my collection. Yeah, I'm glad I helped, man. I'll probably start with some volumes of short stories. Yeah, best way. Question from 3141TK. Do you know the manga Wolfsmund? If yes, what do you think about it? I've only seen the manga on the shelves. I don't even have it on my wish list, so I've heard of it, but I could not tell you anything about it or what it's about. So unfortunately, no, I can't tell you what I think of it because I only know it in name only. Another question from Azio. Why do you think Griffith raped Casca? Spoiler alert, bro. Seriously. I can't really answer that because people, some people who are watching, I know haven't read Berserk, so I'm gonna have to avoid that question. Yeah, we'll skip past that one. Sorry, Azio. Just keep in mind, to put spoiler alerts in at least. Another question from Pobart13. Are you interested in playing visual novels like The Steins Gate or Fate Zero? Yeah. I would at least try some at some point. I know Immortalium did a Let's Play of God Save the Queen, and that looked really, really interesting. I'd like to play something like that. Something that's like heavily story-based and character-based. Something like that. Yeah, I think I could get myself into a visual novel. I just don't know really where to find them. Can you get them on Steam? Or, can you buy them? I don't know. Question from Tank Giant again. Would you ever meet up with fans at London Comic Con? Definitely, absolutely, definitely. I'd love to meet up with like anybody who subscribed to me or people who I've met met on YouTube. I'm absolutely all for that. Actually going down to London Comic Con or any like convention or anything like that. Meeting up with people who I haven't met and only know off YouTube. I'd love that. Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome. Okay, this is a question again from Naomi Nichols. Between Vinland Saga and Vagabond, which one do you like better? Without a shadow of a doubt, I prefer Vagabond. I think the characters in that are a lot better, and I'm still kind of on the ropes of the Vinland Saga as to whether or not it's one of my favorite series or not. It is a great series, but I haven't read it enough of Vinland Saga to warrant putting it in like top 10 favorite list or anything like that. And plus, I've read more of Vagabond. I'm on like this big volume 10. Pardon me, which is like 30 volumes. So yeah, as it stands right now, artistically and story-wise, I prefer Vagabond. Okay, NZ's back, and I'm back. Another question from Tank Giant. Are you getting the UK exclusive One Piece movie collection? I think it's a few. I'm not sure if I will though. I might. I mean, I've heard that some of the One Piece movies are basically just like alternative versions of like certain arcs. Like there's a Alabaster arc where I think that's a little bit different. I know there's a Drum Island film or something like that where Nico Robin's already with them or something like that. So yeah. I don't know, I might get them. The only One Piece film I've seen is Strong World at like a film festival. That's pretty cool. I want to see Film Z as well because those two films I believe are canon to the story. So yeah, I'll get round to them, but they're not like high on my priority list right now. So yeah, your next question. What's your thoughts on the Walking Dead game if you've ever played it? I've played the first season, where you're playing as Lee, and it was absolutely amazing. I really need to get the second season where you're playing as Clementine. Yeah, I absolutely love the Walking Dead game. I also like games like that where it's like mostly story, story orientated, and the gameplay kind of takes like a step back in terms of making the story like the main focus sort of thing. So the gameplay itself isn't like massively amazing, but the characters and the story are just amazing. Like I read the Walking Dead graphic novel as well, and the game definitely lives up to the sort of same feels you get when you're reading the graphic novel. I wish I could say that for the TV series, but I dropped the TV series ages ago, like in season 2. But the game is amazing. I really, really need to get the second season. Okay. We've been going on now for, wow, I can't believe it, 2 hours? Over 2 hours? Nearly? God, this is amazing. Okay. I'm going to work on some more of the questions from the announcement video. Oh, Cynical Noob. Bro, if you had one wish, what would you wish for? Oh my god. Probably wish for another wish. Oh, wish for 3 wishes. I don't know. Yeah, that I probably wish for 3 wishes, and then with each wish, probably wish like I'd probably make really selfish wishes, like make me like a billionaire. Yeah, I'd be really selfish. I'd wish that the anime and manga industry was a lot more healthy and wasn't struggling. I wouldn't wish that manga and anime was more popular, because once something gets more popular, things become more saturated and kind of cater to the masses. It would kind of dilute anything that really good. So I wouldn't wish that anime and manga were mainstream, but I would wish that the industry was a lot stronger. And I don't know what I'd wish for my third. I probably, my last of my 3 wishes, I probably ask for another 3 wishes and just keep it going. If I can do that, which I probably wouldn't be able to. Yeah, good question. I'm gonna have another nutrient while I'm zipping through these comments. I might have some more comments in questions tab. Yeah, I do. Let's see. Mason Anime Chat has asked me a lot of questions. Do you read light novels? I haven't started reading light novels, but I own 2. I own the My Neighbor Totoro light novel, and I just recently bought a light novel called The 12 Kingdoms, which will be my next stay in the industry, whether it's at the end of this month or the month afterwards. But yeah, I might get into light novels. I know there's a lot of Haruhi Suzumiya light novels, and there's a light novel series that I'm wanting to get into called My Girlfriend's a Geek. I saw a review by Mortalium who did a review of that, and it seems interesting. If I was ever going to get into a light novel series, then it'd probably be that. Let's see. Your next question. Have you seen Kara no Kyokai? If not, you should really rectify that mistake. Okay then. I'll probably put that onto my watch list. Whether or not I'm hoping I can stream it legally. I've never actually heard of that, but if you think it's that great, I'll at least give it a shot. Maybe check out a few trailers or something. See what it's about. What do you think is the stupidest manga anime out there? Not a bad anime per se, but just stupid. Wow. See, there are anime out there that initially can be perceived as stupid, but also have really deep contextual meanings. I recently just did a review of Fooly Cooly, and on the surface that comes across as really slapstick and stupid, but there are a lot of allegories and metaphors that are contained within that actually do give it food for thought. So yeah, in a certain respect, you could see Fooly Cooly as being a bit stupid and slapstick, but yeah, in terms of manga, probably I read a little bit of Bobo. I just didn't understand. I didn't get it. That's probably the stupidest manga I've ever tried to pick up. I literally read just a few pages of it, and it was just what? what is this? What is this? So yeah, that's probably the stupidest thing I've ever read or attempted to read. In terms of anime, I can't really think of anything off the top of my head other than Fooly Cooly. Okay, BDT87. You know, you don't have to import Gon. It's licensed by Kodansha. Yeah, I knew that, but I think I'm not sure if it's out of print. I don't plan on picking up Gon soon, but around the time that I do want to pick it up, if the Kodansha English releases of it are out of print, then I will opt out for the Japanese releases of the manga because obviously it's no dialogue. So as and when I want to pick up Gon, you know, I'll obviously go for the English releases first, you know, if they're available. But if not, I'll go for the Japanese and import them if I can get them for a reasonable price. Okay. Yeah, here we go. Here's a comment where Mason Anime talks about Claymore. When I asked about Claymore ending, I meant the fact that the manga is ending soon. I know you really like Claymore, so I just wanted to know your thoughts. Well, there you have it, man. You have a live reaction from before. Gutted. Alright, notifications. A few more comments here. I'm going to read these comments and I'm going to work on a few more of the what you call them, the questions from the announcement video. Okay. There's a question from Seem Koja or Koga. Have you seen Steins Gate? If you have, then what do you think about this series? Definitely one of my favorites. I think that its characters are too damn interesting. Yeah, I recently bought Steins Gate in my not my last sustained industry, but the sustained industry before that. I've seen one episode of it so far. And it seems really interesting, albeit a little bit slow. I have the complete collection box set there, so it's like all 25 episodes, I believe. So yeah, I will get around to watching it at some point and reviewing it. So yeah, you know, stay tuned for that. But I haven't actually watched it fully yet. Ooh, it's a good question from Tank Giant. Favorite devil fruit and favorite jutsu. Devil fruit. If you're not familiar with devil fruits is the power that exists within One Piece. My favorite devil fruit ability. Probably my favorite devil fruit type is Logia. Power to be able to wield a particular element, like you know, like darkness or light or electricity. You know, become an actual element. But I think in terms of creativity, I think the Paramythia devil fruits have like some of the more interesting ones. As like, you know, you can basically become anything. You can become a weapon, a spring, rubber, like in Luffy's case. You can sprout your hands like flowers, like, you know, Nico Robin's abilities. So if I had to pick a particular devil fruit category, Paramythia would be my favorite type of devil fruit. My favorite Paramythia devil fruit probably is like the poison fruit that Magellan, whatever his name is, has from Impel Down. My favorite Logia devil fruit, probably the darkness fruit, by, you know, that Blackbeard has. And my favorite Zoan type devil fruit, which is the ability to transform into like an animal. Oh, Zoan. Probably the leopard, the Mukmuk fruit leopard model. What's his name? What's the dude's name? Rob Lucci has in Warp 7. In terms of my favorite jutsu from Naruto, I don't know. So I don't really like Naruto anymore. Like I need to reread through Volume 1. It's not Volume 1. Part 1, as I think that's like, you know, that's where the story is at its best. I can't really answer favorite jutsu. As I don't know. I'm gonna have to skip that one because no sort of jutsu come to mind that, you know, I thought were particularly awesome. Though I do like some of the ocular jutsus that you know, the Uchiha use, you know, like, you know, the Mangekyo Sharingan and all that. Like I like the Tsukuyomi and the Amaterasu and all that kind of stuff. But actual like jutsus, like, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Azio, another question from you. What's your favorite love story, manga or anime? Anime, recently I just watched Garden of Words. That was an amazing love story. Also, 5 centimeters per second, that's a really good love story. So, you know, anime. terms of manga, I really like the love story that developed between Mashiro Moritaka and Azumi in Bakuman. They had a really good love story, even though it's not really heavily focused upon in the manga. In terms of any other manga, see, I don't really read that much romantic stuff. I don't have anything of any particular sort of romantic context. So yeah, probably the Bakuman love story in that's pretty cool. Okay, so Immortal has clarified that Kara no Kyokai is also known as Garden of Sinners. Heard of that? Yeah. That's coming out in MVM. Coming out from MVM in October next month. Sweet. I'll probably pick that up. Just refresh this page. God, I'm so hungry. Alright. Got some more comments hidden as spam. Why? Oh, because it's a link, that's why. Let's just prove that real quick. No, I just want to thank you guys for sticking with me over the 1 year plus that I've been on YouTube. I really appreciate it. If it wasn't for people who are subscribed to me, I probably wouldn't have gotten this far. So, I'm just massively appreciative as always. Being this is obviously my first live stream, so to see that it's come to success. To an extent, and people are actually watching me live. Really thankful. Really thankful. Okay. Here's what Pobart sent me a link. Here's where I got my Steins Gate visual novel. Oh, sweet, J-list. I got it for £30. Warning: lots of boobs on that website. And I live in the UK, so I can vouch for their validity, and they deliver fast. All right, good. Yeah, now I know where to get a visual novel. Thank you, man. All right, moving on to some of the questions from my Q&A announcement. Crazy Jogo asks me, "May I see your panties?" No. Yeah, he couldn't think of any questions to ask me, so he went to see my panties. Maybe in the future you might see. I might even do a review of my panties, so just keep your eye out. I might set up a second channel or something for my panties. But yeah, next questions come from Bark Nuruz. She asks me, when did you first find out about anime and manga? I was very young. I think the first time I ever experienced an anime was probably when I was 6 years old. First anime officially I ever watched was Akira back in 1996. At the time I didn't realize it was an anime, but it was on really late at night. On a channel over here, BBC Two, and I thought, "Ooh, cartoon! At night time I'm gonna watch this." But obviously it's really violent, and it's always just stuck with me. But the first anime I ever watched, realizing that it was actually an anime, was Dragon Ball Z. Our Pokemon, one of them too. Probably Pokemon. But yeah, I was very young. Okay, your next question, Bachner's, was which did you find first, anime or manga? Anime. I never knew manga existed until I started watching Dragon Ball Z and going to my local comic book shops and things like that. So yeah, anime. Which do you prefer the most, anime or manga? Manga, because that's what I'm most accustomed with reading. I've only gotten serious into collecting anime within the last year and being on YouTube. I never thought I would, sincerely get into collecting anime because it's such an expensive hobby. Because I already collect anime, manga. Sorry. I always just assumed that anime was kind of like a, I don't know, like a side sort of thing. I might have collected a few things, anime-wise, as and when I wanted to, but now it's actually become a serious hobby, on par with collecting with manga. So, but I still prefer manga because that's what I initially got into, and there's a lot of manga that I enjoy that don't have anime adaptations, like 20th Century Boys. That doesn't have an anime, but I absolutely love it. You know, Vagabond. What else? There's also some manga that I own that I feel are better than the anime as well, like Neon Genesis Evangelion or Akira. You know, so you know, sometimes I will always opt out for reading the manga over watching an anime if I feel like the manga's a lot better. So yeah, that's that. Your next question, question 4, was if you had to run away, what are the 3 manga volumes you will take with you? If I was going to take away 3 volumes of manga with me, they'd be singular, like, you know, volumes where like the story is complete, rather than taking 1 volume of, you know, like a vast series and not being able to read all the way through the story. So I'd take Azumanga Daioh. I'll take that because if I was going to run away, you know, it'd probably be for some really awful reason, and I'd want something to keep me happy. So yeah, Azumanga Daioh. I'll probably take. I don't know. Definitely take Azumanga Daioh. I'll take my Fooly Cooly Omnibus because that will, you know, kind of keep my mind occupied trying to, you know, decipher what the hell it's even about. So, you know, that'll pass some time. Let's see. I'll probably take one of my Osamu Tezuka volumes as well, because Osamu Tezuka is just great like that. So, you know, I definitely want something, you know, like that to keep me entertained. Okay. Your next question. What did you eat for breakfast? Today, I'm eating these Nutri-Grains. This is the first thing I'm eating today. I woke up quite late today because I was working late last night. So. Yeah, I woke up at like probably about 11:30. Now I'm eating these Nutri-Grains. Like you know, I should eat something more substantial. I think it's when I finish up this live stream, I'm gonna go make some lunch. Okay, next questions. Let's see. From Rotten Produce. Do you have any Yoshihiro Tatsumi? I haven't seen much of him on YouTube. I haven't seen much of him on YouTube, nor did I see him in your collection video, but maybe I missed it. As he's the father of Gekiga. He's so amazing. Anyway, you should check him out if you haven't. I think you really like his stuff. Yeah, the only Yoshihiro Tatsumi manga I own is Black Blizzard, which I can't reach right now, but I do plan on picking up more of his work. I think it's Drifting Life. I think that's by Yoshihiro Tatsumi. Yeah, obviously he's like the father of Gekiga. He's going to be essential reading material as when I get around to my Gekiga Spotlight videos, you know, series I do. So, yeah, I own one of his works right now, but I need to pick up some more. Okay, I'm just going to refresh this page, see where I'm at. So many comments on here. Eating Nutri-Grain while I'm. What? Bark News is a guy. Oh. Okay. Moving swiftly along. Sorry, Bark News. All right. Who do you like better, Sakuragi, Hanamichi, or Rukukawa Kaede from Asia? I have no idea who they are. I'm just gonna ask who are they? Reply. Another question from Tank Giant. Will you keep this video on your channel, and do you rather enjoy buying volumes when they come out or reading the chapters online? Yeah, I'll be keeping this video on my channel. You know, because obviously the people who people who asked me questions for my announcement video will probably want to, you know, re-go over this video and, you know, check out their own answers and things, you know, if they're not watching live right now. So, so yeah, I'll be keeping this video up on my channel. And as to answer the second part of your question, I prefer buying the volumes after when they're released. I don't have the attention span to read manga online, and you know, I don't really like supporting scanlators because, you know, they're doing everything that, you know, you know, they don't really support the industry, you know, by scanlating pirated material. So that's a discussion for another video. You know, maybe I might go into depth with that at some point. Okay. All right. Last question on the announcement page. Saad from Saad Ehsan. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm pretty sure I posted a comment with some questions, but I don't know what happened to it. Anyway, congrats on 1,000 subscribers. Some questions. Where does your username come from? Answered that previously. Archangel comes from the name Archangel comes from Mass Effect 2. My favorite character, Garrus Turian. His alias in the game was Archangel, so that's where I got my name from. Who is your favorite anime or manga protagonist or antagonist? In terms of protagonist, I always pick somebody who is multi-dimensional and, like, you know, has kind of like a multifaceted personality, you know, whereas they can do things differently depending on, like, you know, what part of the story that they're in, or, you know, what emotions, you know, kind of going through them. So I really like Endo Kenji from 20th Century Boys, because he starts off like really meek and mild and just an average Joe guy, and then he develops into this like you know, hero from being you know, branded as a terrorist and slandered. You know, his name is like slandered globally, so he becomes like the reluctant hero for the 20th Century Boys series, and like kind of has to do what he has to do. It's basically like the story of an average Joe becoming somebody who essentially has to save the world. Like, I think he's a brilliant protagonist. You know, for that respect, because, you know, he's relatable, and you get to see from like an outside perspective, like what it would be like if like a normal everyday person was thrust into a situation where they had to fight for the survival of the entire human race, you know, and the effect that would have on like, you know, that would have on like your own mental state and personality. So you know, for those reasons, you know, I think Endo Kenji is a brilliant main character. In terms of antagonist, I'm not sure you can really class him as an antagonist. He's more like a second main character, but I'd probably go with Sasaki Kojiro from Vagabond. Even though he basically has like the same motives as Musashi Miyamoto, you know, they inevitably do clash. You know, they are basically arch rivals. So you know, whereas I wouldn't really pin him down as an antagonist, because he isn't evil. He's just like, you know, he's just got the same motivations as Miyamoto Musashi, you know, becoming the greatest samurai ever. I do think he's a really good rival, one of the best rivals for like any sort of main character in any series I've ever read. Same kind of goes with Tetsuo Shima from Akira. You know, his rivalry with the main character Kaneda is also a really good rivalry. And he also has like a multifaceted personality where, you know, he starts off kind of like the underdog, develops into like this tyrant, and then kind of, you know, he kind of softens his personality like towards the end, after like everything kind of crumbles and collapses. So yeah, I'll always go with the character who's got like a multifaceted personality. You know, he's always really like, you know, multi-dimensional. So yeah, they're probably my picks. A final question was, do you play any sports? If so, which ones? I'm not really that sporty of a person, but I used to, like, I sometimes play football, like with my friends and things like that. My favorite sports to play back in high school was like basketball. Like, I really loved basketball. Like, you know, I had pretty good coordination and things like that. You know, I've always been pretty fast. You know, you know, I've always been like, I don't want to say athletic, but, you know, I've always been good at running and like endurance and stuff like that. But I'm not really involved in any sports, like, you know, as of now. You know, it's not really one of my primary hobbies. It's just like something that I'll maybe get involved with, like, you know, if me and my friend decide to, you know, kick around or something. But yeah, football and basketball. And for my American viewers, when I say football, I mean soccer. Yeah, soccer and basketball. Probably the only sort of sports I've ever really gotten involved with. Okay, I've got a few more notifications here on Twitter. Let's see what's going on. See what's going down on the Twitters. Yeah, just some tweets, some questions that I've already answered. More notifications. I think Tank Giant has just replied to one of my comments. I'll just get back to that. Oh, okay. So when Azio was asking me if I prefer Sakuragi Hanamichi or Rukawa Kaede, their characters from Slam Dunk. I haven't read Slam Dunk yet. I'm aware that it's back in print, so I will be, getting around to reading it at some point and buying it. Also, it's a complete series, so it's like what, 31 volumes. So at least it's something that I can buy, all in one go or something like that, and just like read through the entire thing. I've heard it's a really great sports manga. Like my collection is seriously lacking sports manga. Like the only sports manga that I own are real. You can see down there. Obviously by the same creators, by Takiko in a way, and I believe it's about wheelchair basketball. And then the only other sports manga from that I own is Makugogo Speed Racer, which is like a racing manga, which I'm still to read. But other than that, I literally own next to no sports manga. I know there's a lot of sports manga that I need to kind of get on reading, like was this Slam Dunk. I think it's a one called Cross Game. It's kind of like about baseball or something like that. Eye Shield 21, which I believe is like vastly out of print. But probably the one thing that has really kind of put me off sports manga in like the recent years of like collecting manga is when I tried reading The Prince of Tennis, and I really don't like tennis. So I was like, oh, if all sports manga is going to be as boring as how I thought Prince of Tennis was, then I'm kind of just not going to bother trying to collect any. That's kind of what was going on in like my subconscious at that time. So yeah. Is that a new question? All right, another. I've got a few more questions here. Don't worry, Mason Anime Chat. Is apologising for asking too many questions. I don't mind. Rock God Itachi, hey man, congrats on 1,000 subs, dude. Thank you very much. I believe you're also at 1,000 subscribers as well. So congratulations to you as well. Let's see. Do you have? This is another question from Mason Anime Chats. Do you have any manga from those lesser-known companies like Last Grasp, Picture Box, or Digital Manga Publishing? Yes, I do. Just in my last sustaining industry, I got Town of Evening, Calm Country, and Cherry Blossoms, which is published by Last Grasp. I've got both of the 10-cent manga volumes that were published by Picture Box. I've got a manga called Garden, which is published by Picture Box. Most of my Tezuka is from Digital Manga Publishing. I've got this Speed Racer box set, manga box set, which is from Digital Manga Publishing. What else did he say? There's also Fountain Graphics books, which publish quite a lot of Jiro Taniguchi as well, like Zoo in Winter. Got, let's see, A Drunken Dream and Other Stories, which is also by Fountain Graphics. There's another manga publisher called Drawn on Quarterly. Well, they're not a manga publisher, they're just like an independent comic publisher. But they publish a lot of the Gekiga. They've actually got a Gekiga line where they publish, like, every manga that they publish is also always Gekiga. Let's see. I think The Strange Tale of Panorama Island, I think that's Last Grasp or Phenomenon or something like that. Another manga that I've got from, I think, Last Gasp, I believe. Let's check the publishers. No, Fanfare and Ponent Mon. The Summit of the Gods, Jiro Taniguchi. So yeah, I do like to support underrated publishers. I just recently picked up as well the Buddha volumes, Osamu Tezuka's Buddha, which were published by HarperCollins. I believe the original licensee was Vertical, but the Vertical volumes of Buddha are like vastly out of print. I think there was even a hardcovers, which I would love to get my hands on. But yeah, I really do like to support lesser known publishers. So yeah, that's that. Ooh, another question from BDC87. Favorite Studio Ghibli movie and least favorite, how and why? My favorite Studio Ghibli film is The Cat Returns, probably one of the more underrated ones. I just love the story of Haru and the Baron and what's the big fat cat's name, Muto or something, or Muta, or something, I can't remember his name. But yeah, I absolutely love The Cat Returns. I love the musical score. I think it was Joe Hisaishi who did the musical score for that. And yeah, it just gave me really good feelings. I remember the first time I saw it, it was like the summer of, I think, 2009 maybe. That's when I saw it, and I just remember feeling really happy when I watched it. So yeah, The Cat Returns is my favorite Studio Ghibli film. Probably my least favorite Studio Ghibli film, from what I've seen. I haven't seen every single one of them, but my least favorite one is Kiki's Delivery Service. I just remember feeling really bored when I watched that. I thought it was one of Joe Hisayashi's weakest, composing, musical scores, or whatever. Yeah, the story just didn't capture me. I didn't like Kiki herself, the character. It just didn't really draw me in. I will end up buying it again. Well, actually, the first time I watched it was when I loaned it out from my library. But yeah, I will end up buying it just to complete my collection of Studio Ghibli movies. But yeah, I really didn't like Kiki's Delivery Service. Perhaps maybe if I need to give it a rewatch, I don't know. Another question from Dr. Reaper Overlord. What do you think is the worst manga you've ever read? Kind of reiterate this one again. I haven't read any manga that I think is the worst manga I've ever read. I do have manga that I dislike, but I wouldn't say that they're the worst. Namely Bleach. No, I couldn't really get into Bleach. A few questions from Rock God Itachi. Are you still buying Play.com MVM deals? Absolutely, man. Yeah, it was you who made me even aware that they even existed. I always, every week, check my deal of the week. The last MVM deal of the week I got was the Fate's Day Night box set. The one this week, I believe, though, I'm missing out on because I think I don't know where it is, but it's a series that I'm not particularly interested in. But yeah, man, every single Friday at noon, I always check my deal of the week, man. So, still big props to you for making me aware that they even existed. Okay, another question from Rock God Itachi. Will you be going to London MCM in October? Fingers crossed. I really, really want to get down there this. I'm glad it's in October because I've still got plenty of time to save money. So I might not necessarily be picking up any manga and anime if I'm planning on saving up for MCM Comic Con. But yeah, if I can get down there, you'll all of you who are watching this, or people who are subscribed to me and things like that, or people who I'm subscribed to, will have prior notice of me going down there, so I can meet up with people. So yeah, I will hopefully be going to the con. Another question from Mason Anime Chats. What anime adaptation of a manga would you like most to be made? Vagabond. I'd love Vagabond to be made into an anime, or maybe even Blade of the Immortal. I know Blade of the Immortal already has an anime, but I think it would, if they actually adapted like the entire Blade of the Immortal story. Even though I haven't read all of Blade of the Immortal, I've only read like the first 5 volumes. But yeah, the animated Blade of the Immortal, it's not really good. So yeah, mostly Vagabond. I'd love to see Vagabond being made into an anime or like a series of films. Yeah, it'd be absolutely amazing, especially with like Takehiko Inoue's art style. I'm not even sure, has any of his manga's works actually been animated? Has he ever gotten an anime out of like anything he's ever released? I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. Another question from you. How do you feel about Full Metal Alchemist now that you've completed it? I'm sure it's gotten higher on your favorite shonen list. Oh, absolutely, man. It'd probably be my 3rd favorite shonen. Outside of One Piece and Claymore. Yeah, Full Metal Alchemist is absolutely stunning. In fact, probably my favorite shonen right now, or shonens probably my top 5 favorite shonens right now at this moment are actually 5 Claymore, 4 Bakuman, 3, Full Metal Alchemist. 2, oh god, I think I messed up this one. Well, number 1 basically is One Piece, but yeah, Full Metal Alchemist is probably in the top 3. Yeah, it's definitely amazing. Another question from you. Do you plan to ever read or watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? Yes, I do. These are going to be releasing the first 2 parts of the manga. Phantom Blood, I believe, is the first part, and I'm not sure what the second part is, but they've already released. I know they've already released Stardust Crusaders. They've had that released for like years now, but because that was part 3 of the entire story, I always avoided picking it up because I'm a completionist and I like to kind of read things from the beginning, even though it wasn't really required that I do so. But now that I know Viz are releasing the first 2 parts or first 3 parts or whatever of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I'm planning on picking it up for sure because I'm really interested in the art style and just like kind of powers and things that I involved in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I kind of like the kind of like multi-timeline sort of thing that that's kind of going on with it. It's kind of set in different sort of periods of history. So yeah, I'll most certainly be picking up JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Before I even pick up the manga, though, I might even start watching the anime because I wonder if the anime or if the manga I wonder if there's manga adaptations of the first and the second part of the anime. So I know there's an anime adaptation of Stardust Crusaders, which I think is airing right now. So yeah, I might even watch the anime before I read the manga, to be fair. Another question from you, Mason Anime Chats, was what is your favourite Hunter x Hunter 2011 opening? Well, they're all essentially the same song, but like kind of remixed. It's just like different anime, different animation. So I prefer the Chimera Antark opening in terms of its animation. I think the Chimera Antark is essentially like my favourite arc from Hunter x Hunter right now. Greed Island was okay, and the opening for that was okay, but I wasn't really a massive fan of that arc. But all in all, the Chimera Antark opening was my favourite. So I'm gonna have a drink. Chess is saying. All right. Another question from Rob Chachi. Have you read Gantz yet? Only the first 6 volumes, and again, it's a series that I've kind of put on hold until I can get more of the volumes. I plan on watching the entire anime before kind of continuing on with the manga because I've heard that at a certain point the manga like really takes a decline for the worst in terms of like story quality and like kind of tries to make up with it with like more fan service. And I heard that the end is like really bad. I think it like ended last year, something like that, and the end was like really bad. So I remember hearing about loads of people basically being disappointed with it. So yeah, I've read the first 6 volumes. I really enjoyed the beginning of it. The Red Phase arc, I haven't finished that yet, but yeah, it's pretty cool. What is the best anime you've ever seen, animation quality-wise? For me, it's Garden of Sinners. Garden of Words, probably for me, to be fair. Wow. I mean, I believe some of the parts in it were rotoscoped, like backgrounds and things like that. But all in all, the animation was absolutely stunning. Like the rain and everything, like the way the characters moved, was just stunning, absolutely amazing. But in terms of like probably the best anime for its like time probably would be like Ghost in the Shell, like the original movie. Like that animation still holds up today as like some of the best animation that you could ever possibly see, and it's a really old anime, so probably in between them. Okay, what more questions have I got? Let's refresh. I might start wrapping up this live stream soon. Not sure. It's like what, nearly 3 hours, 2.5 hours, something like that. So, I'm getting tired. But this is fun. This is still really fun. Yeah, 2 hours, 36 minutes. Can't believe it, man. Let's see, refresh. I hope this has been informative for you guys anyway, because last time I did a Q&A, I hadn't even hit 200 subscribers yet. So a lot of people who are asking me questions now and like watching this now, kind of learning things about me possibly for the first time if they haven't, you know, seen my previous Q&A. So yeah, yeah, I hope this is really informative and that you're kind of learning a little bit more about me. You know, obviously you all know my name now, so, or, you know, I'm not really, you know, I'm pretty happy that, you know, get some pretty good feedback and questions and stuff. So, as he always asks me a few more questions. How tall are you? I am, last time I measured myself, I think it was about 5'8", so I'm not massively tall, kind of like average height. Ha ha ha, you read Vagabond but real. You read Vagabond and real, but you haven't read Slam Dunk. Yeah, I know. But Slam Dunk is pretty long, like 31 volumes. I'd like to see it maybe get like an omnibus release. So I don't know. Who is your favourite villain? Please say Griffith. Nah. Griffith, he's a great character, but as a villain, I haven't really seen much of him yet, because obviously I'm only still on volume 19, so probably so far my favourite villain. Another tough question. Priscilla from Claymore is a really good villain. You know, if you're talking about like a shonen villain, she's a really good villain. Nanamine from Bakuman, he was a really good villain. You know, kind of try, you know, constantly outdo Muto Rashirogi. You know, Nanamine was a pretty cool villain. Tetsuo Oshima from Akira. Some more. The Friend. Oh my God, he was a great villain. The Friend from 20th Century Boys. He's probably my favorite villain of all time. Yeah, just so twisted and evil, and like what he ends up doing to the world, and you know his so-called friends is just wow, amazing. And of course, like Johan Lee, but you know he's a really good villain too. Tank Giant, have you seen the Akira movie on Blu-ray? Would you recommend the anime? Oh, he's corrected himself. Have you seen the Akira manga on Blu-ray? Oh, no. Have you seen the Akira movie on Blu-ray? Would you recommend the manga? Yes, I would highly recommend the manga. The manga completely outdoes the movie. Can you hear that? Oi! Oi! Shh. Shush. Just here. Come on. All right. Stop making noise. Yeah, I would highly recommend the manga over the anime. The manga goes into so much more depth in terms of the story and the characters, and there are actually more characters that feature in the manga that don't even feature in the film. That isn't to say that the film isn't good, but the film is heavily condensed from the manga. So yeah, definitely highly recommend the manga. It's definitely something you need to watch, to read. Sorry, and it's an absolute staple amongst not even manga. It's a staple amongst graphic fiction. You know, it's definitely one of the best things you'll ever read. Me Otaku asks, how old are you? How old do you think I am? People often think I'm a lot older than I actually am. I've had people think I'm like 27, 28, but I'm actually 24. I'm 24 years old. So yeah. Bakamatsu, hey man, good to see you. Wow, 2 to 3 hours. I'm still alive. Just arrived now, 6 minutes ago. Wow, man, you arrived late, but yeah, so tired. I'm going to be wrapping this up soon, but you know, I have actually said that I'm going to be posting this live stream on my channel, so people can go back and watch it. You know, I've pretty much answered like all the questions. There's like one more question here I can see. What is your opinion on the Parasite manga? It's my favorite manga, so you know it's undoubtedly going to be great. I think. I think it was literally perfectly paced all the way through. I've had people here, you know, I've heard people say that the ending was kind of slow, but I just thought it was perfect. Like the entire manga is just a complete 10 out of 10 for me, and you know I just felt like it's perfect, artistically, story-wise, character-wise, and you know in terms of its length as well, because it's only like 8 volumes. It's literally a perfect series for me. So I could not recommend it enough, and you know Kodansha needs to get on you know, reprinting it, you know, soon, especially considering that the anime is going to be airing, you know, later this year. You know, if they could do a reprint of Parasite to coincide with the release of the anime, that would just be absolutely ideal. Especially if they re-release it like a different format to what it was released in previously, because the volumes that they released in, like the paper quality is like really crappy. You know, and the books themselves can get damaged quite easily. So if they release them in like a hardcover or something like that, I'd totally pick them back up again. I don't mind owning a series twice if it's, you know, outstanding, you know, as Parasite is. Got another notification here. Refresh. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. What's this question here? Notifications. Wow, 15 people watching now. Wow. I think it's peaking right now. I don't think. Come on, refresh. Immortalium. You should separate that Claymore reaction from this and re-upload it as a separate video. It was so. Oh, I'm probably gonna watch that part back myself just to see how I looked, because yeah, I kind of skipped a heartbeat when I realised that the manga was ending, because you know that was genuine shock. So yeah, to be honest, I think that's a good idea. Miyotaku, what is your name? I wasn't there, so can you please repeat? My name is Adam. Adam. My name is Adam. So you can either call me Archangel Manga, or Adam. I don't care. Just don't call me dickhead or fucker or knobhead or anything like that. So you know, I don't want any trolls. All right. Notifications. I keep hearing about this, but what is Anime Galaxy? I don't pay much attention to groups. It's a collaboration group. I'm subscribed to. If you've seen the, they did the Kill la Kill Abridged episode. Like a few members of that I know of are BDC87, NC Anime Manga, the Canon Perfect, Average Anime Fan, Tipper Anime. Who else? Immortalium is now a new member. I'm pretty sure there's a few other members as well, but I'm not massively aware. But they basically just do like anime discussions, you know, talk about seasonal anime. Recently just did a live stream, you know, to welcome Immortalium into the group. Yeah, it's just a collab channel, you know, where people can basically, you know, talk about like, you know, their passion, which is anime manga, obviously. So, you know, I'd recommend you check them out. They're all UK based, I believe, with the exception of the Canon Perfect, who I believe is based in Australia. Yeah, just another collab channel, you know, similar to like the Phantom Group or, you know, the Green Clan or, you know, We Are Nakama, things like that. Just basically a place for, you know, YouTubers, you know, who make videos to basically, you know, get together and talk, you know, good thing. I'm hoping to join myself once I fill in our application. Are you going to BDC87? Are you going to apply for the Anime Galaxy? Yes, I'm going to do that today. What would you say is your favorite anime soundtrack? The soundtrack from Fooly Cooly, done entirely by the Pillows, Japanese like punk band. Absolutely brilliant soundtrack, one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard for any anime ever. Also the soundtrack for Cowboy Bebop, which I recently recently watched, is also a really good soundtrack. Yoko Kanno does a stellar job. And I'm also looking forward to watching Samurai Champloo, because I hear that the soundtrack for that is really good as well. I believe it's like kind of a blend between like samurai and like hip hop. And I used to really like hip hop as well. I don't really listen to hip hop much anymore, but yeah, I do like hip hop. So that's that. Oh my god, I'm making so much. This chair is so uncomfortable. Checking some more notifications, guys. Bear with me. I've answered all the questions on my announcement video, finally. Pardon me, just choking on my own water. So yeah, while I'm just checking some notifications, guys, tell me what you think of me starting this Tezuka season, where I'm going to be reading through all my Tezuka manga. Are you looking forward to it? Have you read any Tezuka manga yourself, where you could recommend me some more Tezuka that you think would be good for the series of videos? I'm looking forward to doing it myself. So. Where am I? Oh, but yeah, I'm going to be starting it like within the next week or so. Once I've read my first Tezuka volume, but I don't know where to start. I don't know what Tezuka manga I should actually read first, or like start with. I was thinking of maybe starting with Mu or Ayako. But maybe I should start with something like more, or less serious. Maybe like Princess Knight, or something that's like not as deep, which is probably. Something that you can't really say for Tezuka because most of his stuff is deep. Okay, where am I? Alright, yeah. I was on the wrong page. Getting some more notifications. Alright, I'm probably gonna wrap this up at 3 hours, guys, because it's coming up to 2 hours 48 minutes now, so I'm going to stay on for another 10 minutes. Tie up a few loose ends with these questions, and call it a day. But yeah. Dariel Enigma 02TNA fan subscribe. Yeah, I recognize him. He's answered me a question. Oh, I'm on a train ride home. Will I be able to still watch this in an hour or so? Well, I'm wrapping this up for 3 hours. I'm coming up to like my last 10 minutes now, but I will be uploading this onto my channel, so you guys can see it. I'm hoping nothing goes wrong with the upload, or once I stop broadcasting this live. I'm hoping it's pretty simple to basically just transfer it onto my channel. Because I don't want this video to get lost or deleted or anything like that. So, but yeah, if I upload it successfully onto my channel, which is probably what I'm going to do, going to try and do at least, then you will be able to rewatch it at the very least. But as for being on for another hour, I highly doubt it. I'm really starting to wane, and I need to make my tea. But this has been fun. This has been really, really fun. Next live stream I do with more like a group thing where I invite people along to it. I just basically wanted to do a live stream by myself right now because I had so many questions to answer. I didn't want to get distracted with conversation with like others who were in the live stream. So I wanted to focus mainly on answering your questions so you could get as much information out of me as possible. Learn about me, learn about my tastes and things like that. So yeah, next live stream I do, like I said, with a group thing where I'll be talking, with a lot of, a lot of my subscribers, people who are subscribed to myself, friends of, friends I have on YouTube. Miyotaku, do you know Immortalium in real life? No, but we comment a lot on each other's videos, conversate quite a lot. But yeah, it'd be cool to meet him in real life. Whether he goes to some con or meet up at a con or something like that. I believe he went to London Comic Con last year. So yeah, like I said, anytime I go to a con, I'm more than happy to meet up with people who I've met online. So Immortalium would definitely be one of the people who I'd love to meet, in real life. So yeah, get a few more notifications here. Let's have a look. Refresh. Questions. Another question from BDC87. Have you watched any Japanese movies, dramas? Do you like them? I have watched GTO drama 1998, Death Note movies, Grudge, Battle Royale, etc. Yes. As for dramas or TV series, not really, because I've never really sort of ventured into that sort of side of Japanese television viewing. But in terms of movies, yeah, I've seen Ju-On, The Grudge, Ringu, seen all Battle Royale films. I think there's only 2 of them. I haven't seen the Death Note movies. I've also seen a few Korean movies as well, like Tale of Two Sisters. What's that? Lady Vengeance, I believe it's called. A few others as well. I've seen R Point, which is a really good film. I've seen another horror as well. Shutter, I think it's called Shutter. I think it's like a Thailand horror film, something like that. Ong Bak. You know, I like Asian cinema. Asian cinema's cool. You know, I definitely like watching Chinese or Japanese films. But another really great film, probably one of my favourite martial arts films, was Kung Fu Hustle. That was a brilliant film. So yeah, yeah, I like Japanese movies and Chinese movies or Asian cinema in general. Let's see. Let's refresh this right now. How long have we got? Got about 7 minutes. Looking forward to it. I'm missing a few. Don't assume you're going to read Barbara, Unico, or Metropolis. That's from me and Natalie from my Tezuka season. Probably not. Obviously, all of those are out of print. But I think Barbara and Swallowing the Earth are still available for like a semi-reasonable price. So, if I crumble, I may pick up Barbara. Unico probably not, because that's just a ridiculous price right now. And Metropolis, I think that's part of a trilogy. Metropolis, New World Volume 2 or something like that. I'm not sure. Or Next World, I think. But yeah, probably won't be picking up them, but probably Barbara, hopefully. Tank Giant, your thoughts on the celebrity leaked nudes? I really don't follow celebrities. Celebrities are doing stuff like this all the time. There's probably like a billion sex tapes of like loads of different celebrities. But in terms of leaked nudes, celebrity leaked nudes, like I'm not into celebrity culture. Like I really don't follow like celebrities to that extent. Like even on my own Twitter, I'm not following like any celebrities, or anything like that. I'm just following mostly like people who are. It's a YouTube, Twitter, account. So I follow people who I conversate and talk with on YouTube, and follow like a few anime and manga companies and things like that. I don't follow celebrity culture at all. So yeah, I really don't care about celebrity or their nude photos, unfortunately. Oh, cool. Nets 1340. I recognize that dude. Why did you choose Arcade Manga as your YouTube name? Sorry if you already said this. I just started watching. Okay. I don't mind answering it again. No heavy significance behind the name or its meaning. Archangel. I chose that name because it was the alias of my favorite character in Mass Effect 2, Garrus, the sniper, and Manga. Obviously, I'm into Manga, so I just merged those two things. So yeah, Archangel doesn't really have any heavy significance behind it, but I just decided to stick with it. I'm not planning on changing my username anytime soon because that will just confuse people. I've only ever changed my username once, and that was to Archangel Manga. Another question from Miyotaku. Have you read Message to Adolf? It was my favourite Tezuka. I haven't, but I have it, and I will be reading it for Tezuka season. Yeah, expect a review of it, within the next few weeks or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I do have Message to Adolf. Give this another refresh. I think we've only got a few minutes left, so I'm going to start wrapping this up, guys. I know a few of you have already started watching, but again, I'll let you guys know that I will be this live stream will be uploaded onto my channel for you to maybe go back and watch again. I'm already like 3 hours into it, and I don't want it to be verging on 4 hours. So if any of you feel like rewatching certain parts or things like that, you're more than welcome to rewatch it as and when I've uploaded it. The question from Tank Giant. Thanks, man. You've been asking me quite a few questions. Do you think Dragon Ball Z is overrated? That's a good question. I think the fan base holds on to Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z a little bit too much, especially with the advent of all these films that are coming out and like carrying on like canon material, like Battle of Gods. Yeah, I think they're kind of milking the cow a little bit with Dragon Ball Z, and in that respect, with that with those things considered, I do think it's heavily overrated. I do have like personal attachment to Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, obviously because I own the manga. I've seen all of the anime, but I think it's just time to kind of let it die. It finished years and years ago, but for some reason it's still as popular as ever, and whereas I don't hate its popularity. I'm just kind of peeved off with the fact that the milking the franchise and kind of bringing out subpar material with the films. Like there was that film where Vegeta's younger brother comes into it, and it's like why just stop doing this? You're changing characters, and like the new Battle of Gods films, where Vegeta like does some karaoke, and it's like just ruining these characters for me. And I know Battle of Gods got a lot of praise, but I don't see what was so great about it personally. Like I just did not like it at all. I hated it, absolutely hated it. I think these films are almost kind of ruining the franchise for me, at least. It's kind of making me stay away from anything Dragon Ball Z related, because I used to collect the games and everything, but now I'm just not interested. I think I've completely overdosed on the Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and I have basically no interest in it really anymore. So yeah, I do think it's kind of overrated. Yeah, pretty much. And on that note, yeah, I'm going to start wrapping this up. I've got just a little bit over a minute left. And I know there's still like 12 of you watching right now, so for those of you who have only just joined, I apologize, but like I said, I'll be uploading this video again, but my voice is starting to be really, strained. The hunger is really settling in. I probably should have eaten lunch before I made this live stream, but I really enjoyed it. So I really, really thank you for joining me. Hearing me ramble on for 3 hours. I'm hoping I didn't bore you all to tears. But yeah, thank you all for staying with me, in this 3 hours. Thank you all for staying with me in this over 1 year and getting me to where I am now. I'm at like 1,150 something subscribers now, so I'm massively appreciative. I couldn't really ask for more. It's the subscribers who make a channel what it is. That's kind of what I have essentially believed. Since kind of since kind of making videos and stuff on YouTube. So thank you all for joining me in my first ever live stream. This is my 1,000 subscriber special. Look out for Tezuka season, Gekiga season, and also I'm going to be doing a giveaway in the next few weeks for some manga. You can win something. It's going to be my second giveaway. So yeah, until then, I'll catch you guys in a little bit. Stay tuned for all those things that I just mentioned, and thank you again. See you later.